People dream of power, imagining armies, great battles, and conquered kingdoms. But what if true strength lies not in taking lives, but in creating them? When he became the Demon Lord, the entire world expected bloody wars and destruction. Yet instead of conquest, he was far more interested in fields, harvests, and the fate of those who simply wanted to survive. But in a world where greed has long defeated common sense, even an ordinary grain can be worth more than a legendary artifact. Because sometimes a single planted seed can change the fate of an entire world. On a luxurious throne, clad in black armor, sits the Demon King. He has long black hair and sharp black horns with red crosses on the sides. His gaze was stern, and hot steam emanated from his mouth. My name is Kim Jong-chul. I'm just a regular grad student from Korea. I let out a heavy sigh. Or rather, I was him. Yesterday, I suddenly became Kratos, the Demon King, the final boss of a game I love to binge. Well, it's a pretty common story. A man lies on a soft couch with his arms crossed over his chest. He has short blonde hair. The goal of the game, Bloody Paladin, was to revive an ancient hero who had been in an eternal slumber. You know what? Never mind. Even if I recount the entire plot, it won't help. The Demon King looked down and let out another heavy sigh. The problem is, a demon in a black cloak and glasses enters the hall through open doors. Lord Kratos. This is the advisor Zephyros. He's level 15. He respectfully places a hand on his chest and closes his eyes in a slight bow. All preparations for war are complete. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, a terrible battle rages between demons, monsters, and dragons. The bloodthirsty Prince Asurath bursts into the fight. Level 534. He wears a brown-hooded cloak and has razor-sharp teeth. Let's end this great famine with victory in this war. These lands are uninhabitable. They force us to devour our brothers and sisters. Another demon in knight's armor watches this. Long strands of blonde hair flow from beneath his helmet. The frigid monarch Sergi, level 531. Asurath continues to shout, "Let's write a new history. Kill the humans, slice up the elves." A demon with a monocle proudly watches this. He's wearing a black suit with a voluminous collar. The misty Archduke Hartok, level 555. Asurath continues his call. Let nothing but bones remain of them. A huge demon with a massive body and a bright red mohawk watches the battle with a giant axe in his hands. The Blackrock Tyrant Bale, level 539. At this time, Zephyros stands calmly next to the Demon King, who has his arms crossed over his chest, observing the course of the battle. The king's loud voice rings across the entire battlefield. "Army, attention!" All the demons flinch upon hearing their king's voice. This war. The Demon King looks down at his servants from above. They look at him, awaiting his command. I, Kratos, command my generals. The king himself thinks only one thing. It must be stopped at all costs. He pauses briefly. From this moment Baal meekly freezes. Sergi tenses, eyes wide open. Hartok's face remains unchanged. Asurath freezes in a wild snarl, baring his fangs. Giving everyone a heavy gaze, the king pronounces, "We stop the attack and switch to farming." His generals freeze in incomprehension, fixing their gazes on him. They cry in unison, "What the hell?" The king starts to scream loudly with a hellish expression. Yay, oh no, they're scary. The generals freeze in silent shock, mouths agape. Under the glowing blue light of a dome, a man stands up, leaning on his arm. If we attack the humans, a blue notification pops up. Warning, you are starting your 20th playthrough. The man stands up sharply in the moonlight. The game character, Old Kimchi, level 9,990. The man stands frozen with a scepter in his hand and a terrifying gaze. Then I'm guaranteed to die by his hands. A pleasant man with a smile on his face, in a classic suit and white shirt, adjusts his tie. I entered graduate school for agriculture at a Korean university hoping to get rich from farming. I was so smart that in an instant I became the leader of the entire course. And that meant an old man with gray hair and a short haircut stands before him. He wears large, massive framed glasses and has a smile on his face. "Oh my, Jan Chul, you're so smart. Write my thesis. It will help you a lot." Now a man with a small lock of hair on his forehead stands before him. His gaze is darkened. He's wearing a gray suit and a white bow tie. "You don't mind helping me with the project, do you? You're so good at this topic. Ho ho ho." Now a man with dark hair tied in a ponytail stands before him. He's wearing a white tank top and has an athletic build. "Hey Jan Chul, we need to plow this field." Exhausted in a white lab coat, I lie on the sofa with my arms spread. drooling from fatigue, staring with a lost look, that I became a first-class slave. My gaze is lost. Large bags under my eyes are visible. Ugh, what kind of life is this? Why the hell am I doing all the work while the professors get all the credit? I start screaming uncontrollably, arching my back. Yeah, die! I'll kill you all! I'll kill everyone, every last one of you! Dopamine was already running out. I was going crazy, and I heavily bowed my head down over the table where the joystick lay. The only way to restore its level was the game. I reached out for the joystick. It was very difficult to level up in it. No one had yet reached the 20th attempt due to the increasing difficulty. I freeze with the joystick in my hands in front of a large, glowing screen. I desired victory so much that I started playing it non-stop. First attempt, second, 10th. Demon King Kratos, falling to his knees, dissolves into space, defeated by the hero with a short haircut. So I became the first player to clear Bloody Paladin 19 times. I freeze with a satisfied and simultaneously lost face. Huh. Heh. So happy. I became the strongest in the world. Heh. A multi-story building and only one window is lit. The 20th attempt will be an insane difficulty. Before starting, I need to level up. Level up. Heh. I am the strongest. Heh. The player's personal card in a pink girlish costume is open. Max level 9,999, so it's time to stop. Pale and thin with parched lips, I freeze. How many years did this take me? Whatever. Heh. A question appears in the game field. Do you wish to start the 20th attempt? The answer, yes, is highlighted. Well, let's go. 20th attempt. With my thumb, I confidently press the button. The screen begins to glow with an immense bright light, filling the room. I freeze with shock on my face, blinded by this light. What the... Yeah, My spirit, with tears in its eyes, hysterically screaming, rushes somewhere out of my body. The spirit forcibly penetrates the screen. A swirl of clouds with a glow forms in the sky, and my spirit rushes downwards at high speed. My face shows incomprehension and horror. God, what's happening? Calm down. After all, I'm not stupid. With my arms crossed, I rush further to the ground. Good. I turned blue, so my spirit left my body. Well, logically, I shouldn't die from falling. Perhaps. I notice a tall tower as I fall. This is the Tower of Life. Apparently, I've landed in Bloody Paladin. My spirit rushes into the upper part of the tall tower, right into one of the windows. What? That's the Paladin's tomb. I easily pass through the wall at speed and loudly shout, "Oh yeah, I'll become a hero, almost at max level. Finally, I'll be invincible, the strongest person in the world. Mwahahaha. My spirit sees the game's hero, lying in the tomb in a pink dress with a scepter in hand. My face loses all expression of hope. Oh, now I don't really want to possess that. Suddenly my spirit turns past this body in another direction. I rush at furious speed to another place. What? What's happening? What the? And I see the Demon King proudly sitting on his throne. Hey. You seem to have made a mistake there. No, I don't want to. Present. I sit distraught in the Demon King's body on the throne, hand pressed to my temple. Ha! Insane. I completely lower my face, covering it with my hand. If only I hadn't had that stupid thought then. I would be living as the strongest character now. What a moron. Just an idiot. Zephyros calmly enters the hall. Zephyros staring at the hall door upon hearing my words. Yeah, I swear, Kratos has gotten weaker. He looks at the door from which sounds are coming. That's why he chickened out of attacking. Aseroth shouts angrily at the table with the other generals, "Let's unite and cut off his head, and divide the power among us." Kratos also became ruler that way. Hartok looks at Aseroth disdainfully. What if you're wrong? 2 of the 4 will either receive mortal wounds or die. Sergei calmly replies, closing his eyes. Aseroth, if you're offering to be our shield, we can try. Aseroth shouts angrily, What? You want to die? Baal thinks to himself with a stony face, I'm hungry. Aseroth looks at the others discontentedly. Fine. But what if we find proof that the Overlord has gone soft? How will you proceed? All the generals smile predatorily, except Baal. In that case, we simply must get rid of him. Baal thinks the same thing. Will they feed us? Zephyros freezes in silence before the king. A sinister and gloomy castle is surrounded by flocks of birds. Reporting, the army's morale is completely broken. Zephyros continues to report to the king, who sits disinterested. Incidents of monsters attacking each other and cannibalism have increased, and some residents have begun to leave the land without warning. The 4 demonic generals are furious. They believe you have weakened and plan to unite to destroy you. I sit with a frightened look but don't show it. Only one thought. Ugh, if they attack simultaneously, I'll definitely die. If I show weakness, I'll die too. The king distractedly looks away, continuing to think of something else. Wait, what about old Kimchi? Since I didn't possess him, is he still just lying there? In that case, invading the human world would be the best option. Zephyros pulls out their magical red orb, which catches the king's attention. Here's a video from the paladin's tomb, sent by General Ogmia. Old Kimchi in a pink dress attacks someone with a mad look. Please no, help, Old Kimchi suddenly approaches, extending his hands. Stop, what are you doing? No, don't. The king listens in horror to the screams from the magic orb. Kaya my eyes, gya Old Kimchi stands terrifyingly, looking at them. The king puts a trembling hand to his head and breaks out in a sweat. Horrible, this won't work. It feels like it's all the work of a madman. I don't want to cross paths with him. I need to stay here at all costs. Resigned, the king sits with his head and hands lowered on the throne. At this rate, whether I show weakness or decide to flee, the 4 generals will still kill me. And if I invade the human world, old Kimchi will gouge out my eyes and kill me. Streams of tears begin to flow from the king's eyes. Why? Why did I end up in this world? There isn't a single ray of hope here. The only way out. The Demon King confidently rises from the throne to solve the food problem and finally calm these demons. Zephyros asks the departing king, Lord Kratos, where are you going? Kratos replies, Pardon? Oh, I want to look for a place to grow crops. Zephyros freezes in bewilderment. Pardon? Kratos looks at him confused. What? Zephyros adjusts his glasses, beginning to explain. Lord Kratos, you are a narcissistic, arrogant, and utterly ill-mannered being. Did you just apologize? That's terribly disgusting. Don't do that again. Kratos analyzes to himself. What's wrong with him? Is he trying to provoke me? Did he always have this personality? A flashback where Zephyros stands with a huge scythe before the gates, blocking old Kimchi's path. Zephyros appears only once, right before the battle with the Demon King. But thanks to that moment, he gained popularity. Zephyr, with an aggressive aura, warns old Kimchi, Oh, noble paladin, the Overlord no longer wishes to fight. Please return. Old Kimchi attacks. Zephyros falls to his knees, dissolving, defeated. Demon King. Forgive me for not being able to protect you. That's why players were sure that the advisor was loyal to the king, or at least respected him greatly. Zephyros begins to lecture the king. This time, your mistake was unprecedented. I've never met an overlord who would lose the trust of the demon so quickly. Kratos' face twists in annoyance. He's so annoying already. Zephyros begins to jot down corrections in his notepad. You want to start farming in demon territory? I didn't know your memory was worse than a goldfish's. Kratos curses angrily. That's enough. Do you even understand that you're facing the Lord of Darkness? Don't overdo it. Zephyros replies. I know, and I will continue. Kratos thinks in response. Why isn't he scared? Zephyros and Kratos walk across dry, stony ground with withered tree remnants, both past overlords, and you, personally, everyone has already tried to plant here. You should know that due to sharp and extreme temperature fluctuations, these lands are unsuitable for growing anything. Kratos replies knowingly, I know that these territories are called the Deadlands, but Kratos, narrowing his pupils, confidently declares, Thanks to my ability, it can be brought back to life. And he thinks to himself, I hate farming with all my heart, but first, I need to survive. Zephyros watches in surprise as Kratos begins to dig the dead earth with his hands, kneeling. Kratos furiously shoves dirt into his mouth. Zephyros makes new notes. The Overlord is acting strangely. Now he's a dirt-eating scum. Kratos shouts indignantly, What are you writing there? Stop it! What is that even? Zephyros continues to write, I'm merely fulfilling my duties. After all, keeping chronicles of the Overlord is an important part of my duty. Your ability to remember the simplest things has definitely deteriorated. Kratos thinks irritably, what a bore. Kratos spits out a piece of dirt. In any case, this soil definitely has no nutrients whatsoever, including nitrogen. Draw nitrogen molecules. Nitrogen, a very important substance when it comes to growing any crops. A tiny tomato with eyes and a tongue sticking out tries to catch nitrogen molecules on a branch. Plants are unable to absorb nitrogen from the air on their own, even though it makes up 78% of the entire atmosphere. This is because nitrogen atoms form strong triple bonds, which complicates the process of any chemical reactions. That is why humanity, with the help of chemical engineering, developed the process of nitrogen fixation, a field with beautiful and tall grass, which led to an increase in food production. Is it possible to repeat that here? Of course, there is no soil that couldn't become the basis for farming. Zephyros observes Kratos from the side while he ponders a plan, finger on his chin. All that remains is somehow to perform the process of nitrogen fixation in natural conditions. The sky is covered with dark clouds from which blue lightning strikes. Lightning! At high voltage, nitrogen from the air oxidizes, becoming nitrites, nutrients. The earth with eyes and a tiny tongue catches small molecules in water. Thus they mix with rainwater and are absorbed into the soil. Kratos, spreading his arms, opening his cloak, gathers power, preparing to unleash lightning before old Kimchi in armor. And the main skill of Overlord Kratos is... Kratos scratches his other hand with his nails, causing sparks. Along with blood, yellow lightning appears. Bloody strike. Old Kimchi dies in the attack of yellow lightning. You died. He simultaneously summons lightning and moisture, and with its help, fertile soil can be created. Kratos warns Zephyros with a serious expression. Step back. Kratos scratches his hand with his claws. Let's go. Bloody. Kratos cries out in pain, scratching his hand. He thinks to himself, Ugh! Does this fool use this skill every time? Has he completely lost his mind? This is horribly painful. Kratos turns back with a face full of incomprehension. What? From behind a dead tree trunk, the four generals watch him, thinking one thing. He's gotten weaker. Definitely. Now he's a weakling. Kratos shouts furiously, Hayik! Zephyros adjusts his glasses, and behind him the four generals observe. You're definitely weaker, 100%. Kratos thinks to himself, I swear he's a hired assassin. His plan, provoke me, then destroy me. Well, that's better than death, so let's go. Kratos scratches his hand again with his claws. Bloody! Strike! Kratos yells angrily. His eyes glow, and around him are drops of his blood. Zephyros looks at him with a bloody hand. Blood drips to the ground, forming a puddle. Kratos winces in pain, holding his hand to himself in front of Zephyros. Ugh! The generals approach Kratos. Kratos tenses. Overlord Kratos. Hartok, looking arrogantly, asks in the circle of other generals, How are you feeling? Kratos freezes with a look of bewilderment, staring at them. Damn! Old Kimchi observes the green fields and lands from a hill. Old Kimchi looks thoughtfully into the distance. It's weak, but I have some memories of past lives. I've lived through this moment more than a dozen times, and each time it led me to this place. And due to the call of duty, I gave in. Old Kimchi looks at his hand, but it's all gone. That call is silent. What for? Do I live now? Old Kimchi stands bewildered, looking at his hand. Non-player character Old Kimchi. Level 9990. Old Kimchi brings his hand closer to his face. His silhouette moves away from the green fields and mountains. Lightning strikes in the sky. The four generals look at Kratos, awaiting an answer. Aseroth looks at Kratos with a smirk and says, You know the demon law, don't you? Only the strongest can be the overlord. Kratos experienced strong irritation and anger. His body shakes. Why are they so scary? Everyone you point at is strong. I can't even use a skill. Is this the end? Aseroth looks at him and also feels uneasy. He thinks, what terrifying pressure. The battle hasn't even begun, and he's already concentrating so much power that his body is trembling. The smile on Aseroth's face fades, but Aseroth pulls out his blade with veins as if it's alive. Can you defeat all four in such a state? The other three generals hide behind a withered tree trunk. Aseroth notices this, turning around. Aseroth's confidence completely disappears. What the... Seriously? The three generals silently watch him and think to themselves, We'll see how you fight. And if there's a chance, we'll join in. Cold sweat begins to pour down Aseroth's face. His eyes are scared, malicious traitors. Aseroth mentally justifies them, watching them hide. We're demons, after all. Our aggression is natural. Zephyros begins to announce the start of the battle. A huge magical screen with spectators appears. According to tradition, a battle between demons continues until the death of one or both opponents. Surrendering is not allowed. Aseroth shouts, Hold it! Kratos also notes, You're so fast. Aseroth mentally prepares for victory, raising his sword. Don't be a coward. I can win. He's weakened. Kratos desperately rubs himself, searching for a way out of the situation. What should I do? What do I do? How should I act? Kratos remembers lifting his throne to test his strength. Recently, I tested my physical strength. After all, a demon overlord simply must be strong. But that's not the case. No, I'm stronger than a human, but there's nothing to brag about. Azarath makes the first lunge. Here I come. Kratos flinches. Kratos tries to dodge the attack. I've seen this move in the game. It's either a lunge or a slashing attack. I'll never be able to dodge this in real life. Kratos dodges the dangerous blow. He doesn't understand how he managed to do it. What? How did I dodge that? Azarath attacks again and Kratos sees his stance. His foot is pointed forward, so he'll lunge. A memory comes to mind of Azarath attacking old Kimchi in the same way. The move is just like in the game. Kratos skillfully dodges again and Azarath hisses. Tsk. Hartok makes a remark, watching the fight. Did you see Kratos' face while dodging? He was ready to counterattack and tear off his arm. Sergei also observes, why didn't he? Let's wait a little longer. Azarath attacks again, screaming, but Kratos dodges again. Kratos doesn't understand how this is happening. What's going on? Kratos remembers fighting him when he played as old Kimchi and realized every one of his movements is identical to the game. When I first encountered him, I was in complete shock. A memory of him playing the game and being defeated, sitting with a joystick in his hands staring at the screen. That's impossible. Can it even be beaten? Kratos remembers Azarath striking old Kimchi. He's fast. His movements are unpredictable, and the number of attacks is impressive. However, after the first encounter, the third, Kratos remembered old Kimchi's face before Azarath's strike, a memory of him knocking back old Kimchi in the next encounter. The 10th, Kratos remembered all the battles between them. On the 128th time, I finally managed to defeat him on the first try. And for the next 19 attempts, I completed this stage without taking any damage. Azarath furiously attacks Kratos again. Kratos prepares. In short, Kratos' face becomes terrifyingly angry and confident. With a huge smile, he'll never even touch me. The other generals freeze in horror, watching. Kratos skillfully dodges mocking Azarath. The generals think to themselves in horror. He's having fun. He's mocking Azarath's failures and enjoying himself. Azarath looks at him with an angry snarl. You freak! Kratos openly laughs, dodging again. What a relief. Of course, that doesn't mean I can defeat him. But I've realized something very important. The laws of this world coincide with the game's rules. A blue notification window pops up. Kim Jong-chul, you have realized the fundamental law of this world. Kratos notices this notification. What? Is this that window that appears before heroes in webtoons? A new notification window pops up. You also manage to dodge your opponent's attacks while maintaining maximum concentration. Azarath, driven mad, attacks with both hands, screaming, Kratos notices a new notification. As a reward, certain parts of the game system used by the player character will be unlocked. Another notification, targeting function unlocked. Kratos freezes and peers at his opponent. Kratos sees a crosshair appear on Azarath's face in the shoulder blade area. This is target lock, which appears when using a special skill. It means... Kratos scratches his hand again with his claws. Kratos strikes Azarath first. Bloody strike. A huge orb forms, emitting lightning. Hartok and Sergei freeze in horror. Azarath sits burnt on his knees, and the crowd cheers in delight. Oh yeah, that's it! Kratos, awesome! Kratos! Kratos proudly towers over the charred Azarath on his knees. Azarath barely coughs. Kratos snarls in annoyance, and he thinks to himself, he survived a direct hit from Bloody Strike, even though in the game that would have meant certain death. Damn, he has very strong regeneration. He can recover in a matter of seconds. Kratos strikes again with a lightning discharge. The other generals watch in horror as Kratos strikes blow after blow. Azarath cannot die from the pain, but the Overlord continues to torment him. Kratos looks at his roasted opponent on the ground. Grrr. Still alive. So what do I do? A new notification pops up. You have destroyed all of Azarath's clothing, leaving him naked. Kratos doesn't understand. What's this random notification? Can you not make me out to be some pervert? New notification. Unlocking a new part. New notification. Inventory for removed armor unlocked. Kratos looks excitedly. Maybe there's some good gear there? His hero's card opens. What the? These are just the things I'm already wearing. There's nothing here that could help right now. Kratos looks at the defeated general. First, I need to deal with him. I don't have enough strength to kill him, and his regeneration is top-notch, so he'll recover in a matter of seconds. Kratos notices something. Oh, wait a minute. Kratos sees a crosshair on his back in the shoulder blade area. Since he's still alive, I can target him, and also use Bloody Strike. Kratos' face is full of enthusiasm. I can more than adequately fill these lands with nitrogen. I'm a genius. Credo sees the other frightened generals, and they're scared stiff, right? Great, let's test the theory. Kratos addresses one of the generals. Hey, Sergei. Sergei flinches and replies, yes? Kratos orders. Tie Asarath up tightly. Sergei is at a loss. He wants me to tie up a naked guy tightly? I'm sure he's going to humiliate not only Azarath, but me too. Asarath is tied to a cross with ropes, in shorts. His arms are spread as if crucified. Step 1. Prepare a lightning rod. Azarath is unconscious. Asarath suddenly comes to and begins to shout proudly. Immortal Asarath has fully recovered. You've definitely gotten weaker. To think you believed Bloody Strike could kill me. This time I'll definitely rip your head off. Kratos delivers a new electric shock. Step 2. Activate Bloody Strike. Drawn molecules charged with electricity. With this, nitrogen atoms oxidize, becoming nitrites. Kratos gives an order to Hartok, who was standing behind him. Hartok, cover this entire area with fog right now, so dense that even clothes get wet. Hartok freezes. What? Hartok smiles maliciously, thinking he's figured out the Overlord's plan. Does he really want to humidify the air around him so much that his lightning will hurt him more? What ingenuity. I even learned something today. Hartok begins to use his powers. Around Asarath, a fog is created. Step 3, dense fog. Again, a lightning strike hits Azarath. Step 4, strike, and another one. Kratos continues to strike fiercely. Strike! He experiences pain himself. It hurts. Zephyros watches indifferently. Sergei and Baal also watch, frozen. Asarath is struck by lightning again and again. Kratos does not stop. Awesome. Thanks to this, I'll be able to properly saturate the soil with nitrogen. What if I can grow a lush harvest? Can't wait. Moo ha 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 ha. Kratos strikes without stopping. Bloody, bloody, bloody. Dirt falls from Kratos' hand. He checks the nitrogen saturation. Kratos carefully examines the ground. Behind him stands Zephyros and the fried Asarath. Good, just need to keep saturating the soil with nitrogen. Next. One blue atom bounces off the wall of yellow ones. The soil is too loose, doesn't allow oxygen, and drains water well. A picture where blue molecules mix with piles of yellow ones. Loose soil with a granular structure is ideal for farming. A tired Kratos gets back on his knees. My next goal will be to create fertilizer. An exhausted Asarath hangs on the cross. Kratos, with angry, fiery eyes, tells everyone, "You all, give me your poop." The generals freeze in silent shock. After such a blatant mockery of Asarath, he wants to smear him with poop too? They freeze thinking about it. So cruel, incredibly cruel. A clear blue sky with clouds and mountains with green forests. Old Kimchi walks through the forest. Old Kimchi hears a call for help. But please, help. Old Kimchi walks towards the sound, to the bushes. I beg you, save me. Old Kimchi freezes looking at them. 2 men on the ground. A fair-haired man with curly hair and a brown suit. Tears in his eyes. A pack of goblins attacked us. Please, help us. The second blonde man in a blue suit looking bewildered. A stick is tied to his leg with strips of cloth. If you help, we will reward you. Old Kimchi freezes, silently looking at them with an indifferent gaze. The guys get scared. Old Kimchi reaches out his hand to them. Don't be afraid. I'm not weird. The guys think scary things to themselves. We think otherwise. You look very suspicious. Old Kimchi extends his hand to the guys. Did you hurt your leg? Old Kimchi simply grabs the injured guy onto his shoulder, making him yelp. Old Kimchi turns to the second youth. Please show me the way. The guy gets scared. Ah, of course. Together, the 2 guys and Old Kimchi walk through the forest. The man in the blue suit decides to introduce himself. And you are strong. I am the envoy, Revaj Asrahan. And behind us walks my servant, Diol Frontera. Revaj becomes bolder. May I know who you are? Old Kimchi thoughtfully replies. From this moment, the guys leave the forest towards the mountains. I must find this out. Bird circle near Kratos' castle. All the generals except Azarath sit at the table with their hands on it. Hartok is full of incomprehension from the Overlord's order. How can we start collecting poop? Do we have to make piles ourselves? Sergei angrily bites his finger and shakes. This is madness, dirty, disgusting. Baal was the only one who didn't take this order so close to heart. Baal hadn't eaten anything in a long time. No poop. Sergei also no poop. Sergei shouts indignantly at Baal, "Don't you dare talk about my poop, you fool." Hartok nervously folds his hands and says with a serious look, "Even if we can produce feces, I'm not eager to provide my own. I suggest we catch a few low-ranking demons and force them. Old shacks with crooked fences made of different-sized pieces of wood. Their roofs are covered with straw, and screams are heard there. Please, don't do this. I beg you." A demon with his pants down yells at the guards, "I can't when you're standing and watching. At least go outside." A guard reports the collection results to Hartok. The others said the same thing, that they couldn't Hartok replies without a hint of embarrassment. There was enough time. Where are the results? Hartok walks calmly towards the undressed demon, hands clasped behind his back. Do you dare to claim that you cannot provide us with feces despite how hard you're straining? The demon replies, trembling. Master Hartok, I haven't eaten anything in a long time. Of course, I'm trying to push out the rest. Hartok suddenly grabs the demon by the throat. Hartok gathers an aura of power around him, preparing to punish the demon. Oh, what a good idea. Magical claws tear into an attack. The demon screams in fear with tears in his eyes. Suddenly, Baal stops Hartok, grabbing his arm. Hartok turns to Baal angrily. What do you want? Baal puts a hand on Hartok's shoulder. Open belly. He dies. No more poop. Poop. The more they poop, the more we can collect. Hartok releases the demon's neck and he falls to the floor. I didn't expect to hear such logical thoughts from you. Hartok gets angry, and his angry face shows it, as does the aura around him. If I feed them a fatso like you, they'll definitely poop well. Baal looks at Hartok without a hint of fear, gathering his yellow aura around him. The demon trembles in terror between the auras of the two generals. Hartok and Baal gather their strength in their hands and raise them to strike each other. But Kratos' cry and power appear first. What kind of outrage is happening here? In an instant, both generals lie on the floor from lightning sparks, and Kratos loudly tells them, not only humans can poop. Kratos sits on the throne. Zephyros is beside him, and Baal and Hartok listen to the Overlord. We don't need to use exactly feces that contain no nutrients. You need to find raw materials for fertilizer. Kratos asks the Overlord again, fertilizers? The Overlord calmly replies, yes, additives capable of enriching the soil with all necessary substances. A pile of manure with bags of fertilizer and a shovel stuck in the pile. Usually, sawdust, weeds, and chernozem are used as fertilizer, eggshells, and chicken manure. Dilapidated old log cabins with holes. Chips and weeds can be made from those old and abandoned houses. Only eggshells and chicken manure remain. An idea comes to the Overlord's mind. It's visible on his face. Oh, the Overlord looks at Zephyros. Zephyros, bring me a map of the area. Zephyros nods. Yes, my lord. Kratos unfolds the map. The Overlord carefully examines the map. Just as I thought, it's the same map as in the game. The map shows an area with a sea and mountains, which means I'll be able to get everything here, since there's a way to get there. Demonic seagulls with wildly red eyes circle in the sky, scattering their feathers. Habitat of demonic seagulls. A memory of playing the game as old Kimchi on horseback, traveling through those lands. In the game, they flew in flocks over human lands, which leads to the conclusion that they feed on something there. A huge mountain of water, and demonic seagulls circle above it, and they poop and lay their eggs here. Just a perfect place. Zephyros asks the Overlord by the map, hands clasped behind his back. Overlord, you want to try collecting demonic seagull droppings? The Overlord notes his intelligence. You're quite clever. Zephyros continues. This place is known as a cliff from which no one has ever returned. There isn't a single ledge to cling to, and if you fall, you inevitably fall into the raging waves. The Overlord leans over the map. I know this better than anyone, and he thinks to himself, because this place is practically inaccessible to players. The Overlord looks sternly, but I can climb it. The Overlord and his servants arrive at that very place. Mountains, sea, and many demonic seagulls. The generals look at the Overlord, thinking one thing. What the hell is he thinking? The Overlord remembers how everyone fell from these cliffs without a chance. Since ancient times, many brave souls have tried to hunt these seagulls, but everyone found only their end here. The Overlord throws a bag onto his cloak, turning to the generals. Once I climb up, I'll drop a whole bag of shells and feces. Your task is to catch it. On the Overlord's face is a satisfied, wicked smile. If it works out, everyone will be able to eat their fill. Baal looks at Kratos indifferently. He remembers the demons thin from hunger. Kratos approaches the cliff where the water rages. Looking heavily into the distance, Kratos remembers playing. Was it the 13th attempt, I wonder? I tried every way to climb up there. Running, the Overlord rushes off the cliff. Hundreds of attempts, and just as many deaths. Kratos pushes off the ground powerfully. The generals and Zephyros silently watch the Overlord. The Overlord jumps directly onto the rocks, unleashing his claws, cutting through the air. But in the end, I succeeded. With his claws, the Overlord descends the rock face. I found a bug. A piece of earth he was holding onto falls from under one hand. Zephyros and Baal watch anxiously. The Overlord shouts, "Open inventory!" His personal hero card with inventory opens. The Overlord gives an order, "Take everything off," after which he is left without clothes. Everyone freezes in incomprehension. The Overlord is partially stuck in the cliff. From such a sight, a hint of shame passed through the eyes of the observers. Kratos makes a sharp pull from the cliff. Now I need to roll over. In embarrassment, Sergei shouts, covering his eyes. What the... No! The Overlord's voice rings out, "Get dressed!" and his clothes are on him again. Again, the cliff swallows him, but not completely. Sergei again looks at the Overlord in embarrassment. Again, the command is heard. Turn around again and take everything off. Kratos is naked again. The cliff again partially swallows the Overlord. In this method, he turns around again and summons clothes. Kratos turns around again, having taken off his clothes, and again turns around, summoning clothes. In this way, the Overlord reaches the summit. And finally, fully dressed, he proudly gazes from the mountaintop. Done. A world where there is a game system, an inventory, and the edge of the map, which logically cannot be reached. Kratos tries the method of undressing and moving on the castle window. Oh, it worked. I put all these facts together and decided to conduct an experiment. Surprisingly, everything worked out. Baal observes the Overlord. The Overlord said he would feed us. Baal will go and help him. Zephyros stops Baal. "Excuse me, Lord Baal, this place..." Baal rushes to help the Overlord. Zephyros tries to stop him. "No, wait." Kratos hears a scream and turns around. Baal makes a powerful push off the edge with his foot and jumps onto the mountain. Baal will follow the Overlord. Kratos loudly shouts to Baal, What are you doing?" A piece of the mountain breaks off and Baal falls down. Kratos manages to reach out and grab Baal. Although for this, the Overlord had to strip and get stuck in the mountain again, up to his waist. Kratos holds him with all his might, straining to the limit. Ugh! And why is he such a massive brute? My arm is going to tear off soon. From such a load, the Overlord's face is covered in sweat. Veins on his face are tense. Stop! And why did I even run to save him? He's one of the generals who betrayed me. Wouldn't it be better to let go of his arm? I understand. I have no reason to help you. Baal holds his hand, looking at the Overlord. Kratos is at his limit. His eyes burn with red fire. A memory from his life comes to the Overlord. A guy with a short haircut and a green jacket sits before him. He asks him in tears. A shot glass stands on the table before him. Jan Chul. Please, just once, help me. The professor doesn't want to accept my essay revisions, and that's why I'll remain his eternal slave. The guy continued to persuade. Please, can you talk to him? Maybe then he'll at least look at my work? Tears stream down the guy's face. The professors adore you. You're the best. Maybe he'll listen if you approach him. Only one thought was in his head then. He was my junior, who always followed me around. Since I'm a first-class slave, the professor might listen. But, I answered indifferently, that doesn't concern me. I was afraid that I would never be able to repay that condescension and would put myself in a difficult situation. And I left him with his drink. Maybe, perhaps, every muscle in the Overlord's body is tense. His eyes are red. His body is covered in sweat. I could have helped that kid. His grip tightens. If I try a little harder, the Overlord strains beyond his limit, pulling Baal up. If I gather everything I have, Kratos' teeth grind from the weight. I'll give it my all, using my maximum capabilities. That guy with a faint smile and tears in his eyes. Maybe then a smile will appear on his face in my memories. The Overlord shouts loudly, The Overlord makes a powerful tug with his arm, pulling Baal. A crunching sound comes from his arm. Crunch! But the Overlord does not stop, pushing Baal upwards. Baal flies to the very top of the mountain, to the nests with eggs. Baal lands on the mountain with a thud. The Overlord holds his shoulder while Baal looks at him anxiously. Baal freezes in incomprehension. Overlord saved Baal, even getting injured from it. He had no reason to help. Why? The Overlord breathes heavily, touching his arm. But then the Overlord proudly stands up and declares, this is nothing compared to the pain of losing a subordinate. And everything has already recovered. Baal begins to tremble at the Overlord's words. And then tears well up in Bahal's eyes. He sees that guy from the past, crying, I should have helped you too. Forgive me, forgive me. As the Demon Lord, he stands before that guy at the table. Suddenly, a new notification pops up. The notification reads, even without fully restoring your demonic power, you were able to use it. New notification. As a reward, you receive immense gratitude from Bahal, one of the 4 heavenly kings. Bahal is kneeling before him, and the Demon Lord thinks, is he that grateful? New notification. Thanks to this achievement, a new system feature is available to you, providing your subordinates with boundless happiness, which earns you a huge amount of points. The Demon Lord looks at this notification uncertainly. What? What kind of points are these? New notification, happiness points HP unlocked. Kratos looks at the notification in surprise. Happiness points? Oh, I know those. Can't you get a discount on ice cream with them? Is there a place in this world that sells it? New notification. No. What kind of game would sell ice cream anyway? The Demon Lord thinks, damn, you scared me. I can talk to the system. New notification. You gain 1 happiness point when soldiers of the demon army enjoy the feeling of satiety. HP can be used to improve stats. The Demon Lord watches intently. The stats menu opens. New notification. Currently, only 20% of Demon Lord Kratos' true power is available to you. Try to raise all your stats to 100%. The Demon Lord examines the stats. Alright, let's take a look. The Demon Lord changes a stat. Increase stamina by 10%. New notification. To improve stamina, you need 59 happiness points. Kratos thinks, what? That much? New notification. You can also improve skills you've already unlocked. Bloodstrike skill, level 1, requires 250 HP to improve. Currently, they are useless, and realization dawns on the Demon Lord. But if this farming idea takes off, I can stack them up quickly. Then I'll become the strongest in the world and be able to survive. And also, Bahal looks at the Demon Lord with tears in his eyes. Kratos silently thinks to himself, receiving gratitude from someone. The Demon Lord's face shows a simultaneously satisfied and sinister smile. Quite pleasant indeed. But Bahal sees something else in his face and thinks to himself, Ka! Judging by his face, if I don't do everything he says right now, I'll be torn to shreds, especially now that I owe him my life. Kratos is truly a wicked demon. Nothing good can come of this. Kratos shouts from the clifftop to the generals, holding a piece of shell. Hey, you guys down there! The Demon Lord holds the shell, liquid dripping from it. I collected poop in this half shell, and I'm going to drop it. Catch. The generals freeze in shock. What? At? The Demon Lord throws the shell down with force. Ha! The shell and its contents fly towards the generals. Ugh, I give up. The Demon Lord clenches one fist in an act of summoning, and with the other prepares to throw another shell full of feces. Agriculture, let's do our best. A pile of feces lies on the ground with a piece of shell. Step 1 for creating fertilizer, using seagull droppings, shells, wood ash, and soil ready for plowing. Next, mix them thoroughly. Kratos gives an order. Sergei, grind and mix this. Sergei asks again. What? Are you sure you haven't got the wrong address? Kratos is not in the mood for discussion. You have many swords, don't you? Get to it. Sergei is overcome with anger and shouts, I, the cold monarch Sergei. My swords were not created to stir bird feces. Sergei summons her swords and swings them. Rage appears in the Demon Lord's eyes. They burn with a red light. Oh, so that's how it is. I gave you the simplest task. Then, Kratos threatens. He points at the bound and burned Asarath. Look over there. Switch places with him. Would that suit you better? Sergei begins furiously cutting the feces. Watching Sergei, Kratos thinks to himself with a sigh of relief. Phew. Almost had a heart attack. They're all quick-tempered, so I can't relax. Kratos puts on a serious face, but I am the Demon Lord, and I will achieve my goal by any means necessary. Second step for creating fertilizer, add water. Kratos gives the next order. Hartok, create a thick fog. Now Hartok protests, spreading his arms. What? But Demon Lord, the stench will only get worse because of the moisture. I won't do it. The Demon Lord reminds him of Asarath tied to the cross. Hartok obediently summons water with his purple aura. Kratos asks Bahal, who is checking the soil. Enough moisture? Bahal answers with soil in his hands. After the fog appeared, it became soft, just as you said. Kratos is ready for the next step. Step 3. Move the fertilizer to a dry place and cover it with a blanket of seagull feathers. Kratos looks thoughtfully with his arms crossed. However, Kratos observes as others cover the piles with blankets and thinks. Creating even a small amount takes a lot of time. Kratos considers further actions against the backdrop of the dead land. To create enough to nourish this territory, there's no other choice but to involve all demons. Kratos presses his lips together. Something bothers me, but Kratos opens his eyes, full of confidence. We have to do this. We'll have to use the Demon Lord's power. A blue sky and mountains in a light mist. An old wooden hut with a thatched roof against a blue sky. Inside the hut, a thin demon sits with his head bowed by a bed with a baby demon. The baby is covered with a blanket. Its face is sweaty. Papa. The demon father is thin and miserable. What is it, Flutie? The baby demon with blue hair, yellow eyes, and small horns cries, Please, eat me. The demon father looks at him heavily. Flutie, I told you never to even hint at such a thing. The baby demon cries, "I miss Mom." The demon father freezes at those words. The demon father remembers how a demon attacked the baby. "I'm hungry. I'm starving. Food." The baby demon cries on the ground. A hungry demon attacks, bringing its mouth closer. Between the baby and the hungry demon, its mother appears, protecting the child. The baby watches this with tears. The demon baby's mom looks at him with a smile. The baby manages to say, "Mom, the demon eats its mom." The father sits by the baby's bed. "If you disappear too, then why?" The demon father looks lost at the floor. "Should I continue living?" Suddenly the demon father is distracted by a sound. Bahal, Kratos, and Zephyros enter his humble home. The demon father didn't expect this. Demon Lord?" Kratos looks at the father menacingly, exhaling steam. "He still has strength, right? Take him." The baby trembles and watches everything with tears, listening to her father. "Stop! What about Flutie? If she's left alone, high-ranking demons will just devour her." Bahal carries the father away. "No, Flutie!" The baby cries from the bed. "Papa!" Kratos indifferently clarifies details with Zephyros. "How many have we gathered already?" Zephyros replies, 20 demons, we need 30 more." Kratos turns around and looks back. The baby cries and tremblingly reaches out a hand. Kratos remembers how, playing as old Kimchi, he encountered this demon baby. He presses a button on the joystick with his finger. Old Kimchi swings his sword at the demon baby, who reaches out to him. The demon baby watched and cried. Kratos coldly turns away. Kratos loudly orders for everyone to hear. "Guards, stand by the huts. Stop devouring your own kind. Zephyros, gather the remaining demons. From this moment on, everyone will make fertilizer." Kratos' gaze is full of determination. "I am the Demon Lord. To achieve my goal, such tyranny can be justified. No success without sacrifice. A yellow sun against a red sky and mountains. Demons stir fertilizer with clubs." Sweating, one demon asks another, "Why are we even wasting our strength on this? Isn't farming a stupid idea?" The second demon replies, "Shut up, Dirok! Have you gone completely mad? What if the Demon Lord hears?" Dirok, still sweating, continues the dialogue. "We're going to die anyway. Let's say this land becomes fertile, but what will we plant? Nothing grows here." Behind Dirok, the Demon Lord appears with a heavy aura. "Interesting. What will we grow?" Dirok drops his club and looks at Kratos. Demon Lord, leaving, Kratos throws after him, "Follow me." The Demon Lord looks warily. "That day, the purple flower I accidentally noticed." Kratos remembers that flower near the dried tree, a plant with 3 purple flowers and a yellow center. This is the plant that can take root. The Demon Lord and Dirok look at the flower. "You were talking about this?" Kratos explains. "Yes. We will grow the roots of these flowers. Bahal and some of the farmer team have already dug them up from different places." Dirok clarifies, looking at the flower in the Demon Lord's hands. Please forgive me. But, Demon Lord, these roots are not edible. Consuming them causes terrible pain. There's even a risk of death." Kratos' hand pulls out the flower. "Well, we don't have anything else to eat anyway. A edibility test will resolve our disagreement." Dirok looks at Kratos. "Excuse me? A test?" Kratos says calmly. "Right, about that?" With a terrifying face, Kratos looks at Dirok. "Your daughter will eat this." Dirok freezes in horror. Dirok suddenly runs from Kratos. "No, oh! Dirok runs to the hut. The thatched roof is visible. "Why? Why did they choose my daughter? Please, don't eat it, don't eat it." Dirok bursts into the hut. Bahal and Zephyros are there. "Flutie, don't eat that." Dirok freezes, hearing his daughter. "Papa." Flutie eats the plant roots, a couple of tears in her eyes, roots in her hands. "But I already ate, but I don't feel pain, and I'm full." Dirok trembles, watching. "Flutie, are you really okay?" Flutie continues to eat. "Yes, Lord Zephyros and Lord Bahal fed me yesterday, and I'm really okay." Kratos stands behind Dirok. "Well, convinced?" A long time ago, people from distant lands also managed to make poisonous plants edible. They successfully cultivated it and solved the problem of hunger. His face takes on a proud look, and it was called potato. Flutie thanks the Demon Lord with a smile. "Demon Lord, I can't believe you are so kind to a low-ranking demon like me." "Thank you very much. New notification. Someone in your army is happy with the food they ate. You've received your first HP. New notification, happiness points +1. Kratos looks at the notification. Flutie looks on with gratitude. Kratos peers closer. Kratos remembers that demon girl before her death and the grateful one now. The fact that I am the Demon Lord, Kratos smiles warmly, doesn't obligate me to always be gloomy. Kratos' face is terrifyingly menacing in a grin. "A rat like you should eat well and grow healthy." Flutie trembles and drops her food. and Bahal and Zephyros think one thing. He wants to fatten her up and eat her, a truly wicked demon lord. The demon lord's castle in the mountains surrounded by birds, the most distant place in the demon lord's lands. Chavin de Antuare, a map with zones. The country is divided into 5 zones, and this territory is the furthest away. Bright sun, blue sky, and desert. Piercing cold at night and scorching heat during the day. The climate resembles Andean highlands. A hand holds a potato with a flower. In the distant past in Andes, people had nothing to eat, so they began to consume poisonous wild potatoes. And they all died? On a saucer, a spiny fish trembles at the sight of a knife. What, you don't know people? They can even cook something edible out of poop and sticks. Dirok sits on the ground with potatoes laid out. Demon Lord, we're done laying them out. Kratos gives an order. Super, Bahal, crush them, Bahal roars. Bahal jumps up above the potatoes. Bahal sharply lands on the potatoes. Bahal crushes the potatoes with his foot. Kratos watches Bahal crush the potatoes. We froze the potatoes for 5 days, and then thawed them throughout the day with Bahal's meteor axe. Thanks to this, all the poisonous substances came out and evaporated. Crushed potatoes lie on the ground. Freeze, thaw, mash, and then leave to dry. Then store the dry potatoes, lightly frying them at the end. In a bowl, fried and mashed potatoes, and the result is edible wild potatoes, chunyo. Kratos turns to Zephyros. Call the farming squad in charge of fertilizer. With an angry face, Kratos shouts, time for a snack, and thinks to himself, they'll like it, won't they, right? The squad stands before the Demon Lord and Zephyros. There's not much, so 2 per person. Zephyros asks the Demon Lord, we still have a lot of potatoes left. Why can't we make more? Kratos replies, I doubt there's enough left. I'd say more. This amount isn't even enough to feed our army. With a burning gaze, Kratos says, obviously that's why we'll plant all the leftovers so we can harvest 1,000 times more in the future. The demons look disapprovingly at the fried potatoes. These are poisonous roots. Do we have to eat them? My uncle died because of them. Dirok defends the idea. I told you. The Demon Lord found a way, now they're not dangerous. Flutie already tried them. She's alive and well. Another demon doubts. Fool, look at the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord's face is terribly scary. And this is the face of a demon who did something good? He's clearly eager to watch us writhe on the ground in agony until we die. Dirok bravely throws a potato into his mouth. Another shouts, have you gone mad? Dirok chews. Dirok swallows. Dirok shouts with tears in his eyes, long live the Demon Lord. The demons begin to eat the potatoes. After observing the condition of the first one to try the potatoes, the squad quickly ate all the chunyo, and the demons freeze, looking at Kratos and Zephyros. Dirok, observing, thinks, Demon Lord, he really fed us. Dirok shouts, yes! The crowd begins to cheer. Kratos, yes, Kratos, yes, Kratos, yes, Kratos. Kratos pondered. I don't like this chant. I'll have to come up with a new one later. Zephyros watches Kratos and thinks. By his face, he's confident that he can grow anything on this barren land. Perhaps he really will manage to solve the food problem. New notification. Part of your demon army is rejoicing from the food you prepared. Happiness points plus 50. HP 51. Kratos notices the notification. Huh? Kratos' face shows a satisfied smile. Now I have enough, and I can make myself a little stronger. The character stats card opens. So, what's more important here? Nothing comes to mind. Maybe I should save up more. Kratos stands thoughtfully. All right, now I need to divide the potato harvesting teams and the fertilizer creators. Zephyros gives an order. Farming squad, attention. Zephyros continues. Once you finish your work, tell the whole village that even this barren land can feed us. We promise that everyone who participated in collecting wild potatoes will receive vouchers redeemable for chunyo. Kratos notes Zephyros' skills. He's clever. Even though he's wildly annoying, he still helps. Flutie gathers potato plants, and other demons carry sacks. The villagers conscientiously continue to dig potatoes for me. Hartok creates fog, and Sergei grinds fertilizer. One team will continue to prepare chunyo, while the second deals with fertilizers. Demons under supervision carry the bound Azarath on a cross. Yes, move him 10 steps over there. No, that's not 10. 1 step back. The demons set up the cross with Azarath in a new spot. Kratos strikes Azarath. Strike! Kratos carefully inspects everything. I've been diligently acquiring nitrogen. Now we have enough fertilizer. It's time for the next step. Kratos looks at the piles of fertilizer under the blanket. It needs to be evenly distributed throughout the entire area. But that's too much. Bound Azarath begs the Demon Lord. Ugh, Kratos, you fool. Just kill me already. Kratos thinks further. It's too much for a small team surviving on a couple of chunyos a day. Kratos strikes Aseroth again with a bolt of lightning. And lose a great demonic general who doesn't lose his efficiency even during prolonged starvation? Found a fool. Kratos' gaze becomes angry. Are we just supposed to wait for this? Kratos sits on the throne. Did you definitely send the request to the Star Masters for reinforcements? Zephyros replies, affirmative. Zephyros begins his report against the backdrop of the zone map. We order all attacks to cease and as many troops as possible to be provided to assist in agriculture. Messengers were sent to all Star Masters, but we still haven't received a single response. Kratos complains discontentedly, hand to his face. Maybe they passed out from hunger on the way? Distributing fertilizer with the current number of demons is completely unprofitable. Stone mountains with green crystals. And in the middle, a mountain shaped like an open bud with a green glow inside. Demon Land. First Star Zone. Death Rock. A knight in blue armor and a torn cloak kneels before a demon with white wavy hair. Reconnaissance reports that Demon Lord Kratos has indeed begun cultivating the land. Apparently they have successfully grown something edible. The man with a white and shaggy beard replies, Kratos, he's trembling with fear of me. An old man with a beard and long hair emanating steam. The first Star Master, father of Death Serathol. For with every death, my army only grows. He canceled the invasion, started messing around, saving demons from starvation just to keep me in check. Did you take care of all the messengers? His servant with a skull for a face replies, affirmative. The other Star Masters don't even suspect the war has ended. Serathol looks proudly. Demons, they all must die of hunger. Only then can they become my food and my warriors. And then, Serathol stands up and emits a hellish aura. I will kill Kratos and take his place. Ficamir, my assistant. Ficamir kneels. At your service. Serathol extends a claw towards him. His pupil burns blue. Destroy all of Kratos' agriculture. Ficamir's eye also lights up blue. Azarath, trembling, tied to the cross in a strong wind. Ficamir approaches Azarath. He really is cruel. To turn Azarath into a living dead man just to make an example of others. Ficamir looks at him. Don't worry, Azarath. Master Serathol will appreciate your aggression. He will come for you once he's dealt with Kratos. Ficamir summons spirits. Spirits? Ficamir furiously orders the spirits. Destroy the field, so no one can use it again. An army of spirits rushes to attack. One of the spirits reports to Ficamir. Master Ficamir, there are piles of manure here. Ficamir laughs wickedly. Scatter it all over the field. Bwahahaha. Spirits scatter the fertilizer, and Ficamir shouts, make sure you scatter everything evenly, so they don't even have a chance to collect it again. Mix it with the earth so thoroughly that you can't even tell where the feces are and where the clean earth is. Ficamir laughs wickedly against the backdrop of Azarath. Azarath watches silently. Azarath remembers Zephyros and Kratos' conversation. Zephyros asked the Demon Lord, what do we do now? Kratos replied, we need to spread the fertilizer and mix it with the soil. It's laborious work. The farming squad can't do it alone. Spirits rejoice, and Ficamir keeps laughing. It's all over for you, Kratos. Bwahahaha. Azarath observes and thinks to himself, what are these gifted ones even doing here? The Demon Lord's castle. A tired spirit sits on a stone. There's no end to this. One spirit works, the second rests, the third scolds. Hey you, stop slacking off. If we miss even an inch, Demon Lord Kratos will turn everything here into a farm. The tired spirit replies, Number 2718, you're working tirelessly today. Usually you're messing around. Spirit 2718 replies, oh, you're right, number 1341. The spirit turns to the sun. But I really don't know. It's just... One spirit fell to the ground. The second looks into the distance. When I look at the work we've done, I feel pride, like I did something useful. The spirit on the stone watches silently. The spirit on the stone cracks his neck with a smile. Ha, what a fool. The spirits cheer up. Today, I'll be a fool too. Dawn begins. The voices of the spirits are heard. Just a tiny bit left. We're so good. He. What? It's already dawn. The spirits die from the sun. A. We completely lost track of time because of work. We're dying. However, the spirits die happily. We won't die in vain, because we were very productive today. The spirits fly away. Ficamir, with tears in his eyes, watches them, hiding under an umbrella. Ficamir says, with tears in his eyes, you did it. Rest well in a better place. Ficamir lowers his head. All right, now let's see. Kratos' reaction. Voices come from the wooden shed. Processing the field took longer than I thought. If we did it all by hand, it would have been even longer. Kratos and Zephyros stand near a pile of potatoes. All these potatoes are dormant, Zephyros clarifies. Dormant? Kratos looks seriously at the pile of potatoes. Yes, they have no sprouts. Even if we plant them, we won't achieve anything. Dormant potatoes in the ground with the stem and flower above ground. It's like the potatoes are peacefully sleeping underground. Suddenly, a potato is yanked from the ground, and a cunning demon would pull it out into the open. Half-dead potato. In such a case, the potato loses consciousness from shock. Their biological rhythm stops. Kratos thoughtfully puts his hand to his chin. They'll normalize faster if left at 4 degrees Celsius for 2 to 3 weeks, and then move to a dark, warm place. Kratos remembered Sergei. I wanted to ask Sergei to cool them down, but she's furious right now. Hartok is also on the verge. Kratos remembered an angry Hartok. If they team up, I can't handle both at once. I should come up with a better plan. A bunch of farmers do squats. It's fine if we raise the temperature in the storage to 23 degrees. That's why I made the farmers do squats. Farmers on the floor, exhausted behind Kratos and Zephyros. But they all got tired too quickly. A failed idea. Kratos sighs. Kratos gives an order. Zephyros, let's go to the fields, and thinks to himself, I'll do what I can myself. At least I'll fill the soil with nitrogen. Kratos sees the field covered in fertilizer and Asarath on the cross in the distance. Kratos freezes. What? Dug up earth with fertilizer. The earth has been dug up. Bound Asarath sleeps. And this stench lingering in the air? Kratos shivers, not believing what he sees. The land is completely ready for planting. What kind of miracle is this? Fikimir watches from behind a tree trunk and laughs. He, he's just in shock. A perfect crime. Wahahaha. Behind Fikimir, Bahal appears. Bahal grabs Fikimir. He was hiding. Fikimir shouts, holding onto the edge of his collar. Let go! Bahal carries him to Kratos, who thinks, what? That's Fikimir, one of the bosses of Deathrock. Did he decide to come in person after receiving the request for reinforcements? Kratos asks, what are you doing here? Fikimir tries to lie. Kratos punches Fikimir in the face. Zephyros stops them. He didn't even get to say anything. Why are you hitting him? Kratos replies while Bahal holds the unconscious Fikimir. It seemed like he was trying to hide something, and such educational blows are the best way out of such a situation. Fikimir, with a contorted face, replies, Ugh, as expected of the Demon Lord. However, I, Fikimir, am not so easily made to talk. Kratos begins to strike blow after blow. Fikimir can barely say anything. No mat, what, gah. An exhausted Fikimir hangs in Bahal's hands, and Kratos is out of breath. Good heavens, I'm spent? New notification, using points to improve stats. Character card appears, available HP 51. New notification, you used 50 HP to improve stamina, from 20 to 30%. Kratos continues to beat Fikimir. The latter says, wait, I'll tell everything. Under the scorching sun, Fikimir confesses, honestly, I was ordered to destroy your field, so you all would starve. Kratos' castle. Summarizing, because of Sarathol, our letters didn't reach their recipients. Kratos on the throne, hands under his chin. Well, everything's clear here. Thanks to hunger, he only gets stronger. Zephyros concludes, this is treason. Zephyros builds a logical chain. Now you have a chance. If you get rid of the first Zone Star Master, the demons complaining about the invasion being called off will take it as a warning. Kratos thinks to himself, even if this wasn't a problem, if I leave things as they are, they'll keep throwing wrenches in the works. I need to come up with a way to deal with them. Zephyros continues, the only problem is how to defeat Sarathol. Kratos agrees. I know, he can make his body intangible. A memory of Sarathol becoming intangible. Even in the game, Sarathol was everywhere on the Death Rocks, which was already a difficult map. The whole fight was like a game of tag. If you can't get rid of parasites, you need to destroy their nest. Kratos looks menacingly. His pupil is constricted. Flutie with a small shovel looks at Asarath with the potato flower in her hair. Asarath looks at Flutie emotionlessly. Asarath snaps, what are you staring at? Flutie runs a finger across her cheek awkwardly. Flutie bows her head to Asarath, shovel in hand. I heard that it all worked out thanks to your sacrifice. I mean, we have food thanks to you. Thank you. Asarath becomes furious. Azarath shouts, I'll kill you, you stupid runt. Flutie runs away screaming. Asarath makes a promise to himself. Just you wait, Kratos. One day I'll break free, find you, and kill you. Asarath hears a voice. And now, everyone together, and thinks to himself, what? Kratos? A poster is visible in the distance and a song is heard. What a fairy tale. What a miracle. The poster, demons, Kratos, and Ficamir tied to the cross with an umbrella above him are visible. We're so happy. Not bad. The poster reads, "Congratulations, we have a second lightning rod in our team. Everyone is having fun and rejoicing. We're so happy, not bad." Ashrath freezes in shock. "What? Second lightning rod? Tears of hope in Asarath's eyes. "Free? I won't have to pretend to be a rotisserie chicken day and night?" Crucified Ficamir is placed next to him. "What?" Kratos strikes. Strike. Now lightning strikes Azarath and Ficamir together. Ah, so it means that now two will be hit at once. Another lightning strike hits the two lightning rods. Strike! Sarathel watches this through a magic orb. Sarathel screams, my assistant Ficamir! Kratos strikes again. Strike! Ficamir screams from the electric shock. Sarathel cries, watching this through the magic orb. Ficamir, how much pain are you in? Kratos strikes even more furiously. Strike! Ficamir screams louder. Sarathel cries, Stop, you brute, stop! Kratos freezes, noticing something. A bird sits on a branch with a magic orb in its paw. This is a scout bird from the game. It seems they're carefully monitoring everything that's happening. This angers Kratos even more. How dare you try to destroy my harvest? I swear you will deeply regret this. A bright, scorching sun shines. Flutie digs a small hole with a small shovel. Asarath silently watches her. The shovel enters the ground. Asarath shouts at Flutie, Hey, brat, what are you doing? Flutie turns around. Flutie continues digging. Well, the Demon Lord, the 4 heavenly kings, and the other adults are working so hard, so I want to be useful too. Asarath mocks Flutie while Ficamir remains silent. Ha! You stupid low-ranking runt. That idiot next to me already plowed the field, so everything you're doing right now is useless. Flutie, impressed, approaches Ficamir. Really? Thank you. You plowed the field and you also became a new lightning rod. Ficamir doesn't understand. What? Ficamir breaks into a sweet smile. Good heavens, you're such a cutie. Your words gave me the feeling that it wasn't all for nothing. Asarath merely notes. The guy was on his way to success. Unlucky. Didn't quite make it. Asharath sarcastically sneers. Is plowing a field really that difficult? Farming in this wasteland? Do you think you have a chance? The damn potatoes, or whatever you were planning to grow, won't even sprout. Although, they say if you keep them warm, they'll sprout faster, but you'll all still starve to death. Flutie immediately runs away. Thank you, potato sprouts! Asarath shouts after her. Hey, you little rat! Flutie runs away waving her bag. Asarath exhales. Pfft! What can she even do? The Demon Lord's castle under the scorching sun. Zephyros, walking behind Kratos, says, I have some questions about your plan, Demon Lord. Sarathol most likely realized it's a trap. Will he still come to save Ficamir? Kratos confidently replies, Of course not. Zephyros clarifies, What? Kratos says, lowering his head. First, he'll send his pawns. If we want to smoke him out of his hole, we need to destroy every last one of them. The demon army with Behal stands against the backdrop of the tide Ficamir. A voice gives the command, Kill them all, zero them out. A bird with a magic orb flies past Behal. Sarathel observes from the throne through a magic orb. Kratos, that idiot. Does he really think he can provoke my subordinates if he leaves his army nearby? Arathel with a massive beard continues to speak. Unfortunately for Ficamir, I have only one goal. Harvest phantoms appear before the potato warehouse. Destroy the harvest. Forward, my harvest phantoms. Harvest phantoms roar. Harvest phantoms attack. Harvest phantoms rush to the warehouse doors. Crush all the potatoes, stomp everything and everyone to smithereens. Phantoms penetrate inside the warehouse. Kratos notes, just as I thought. Phantoms freeze in surprise. Kratos stands over a mountain of potatoes in the warehouse, arms crossed. That you, the harvest phantoms, would be the first to appear. Kratos looks menacingly. Welcome to your mass grave. Phantoms freeze in confusion. Kratos looks down at them. When I first encountered them in the game, I felt complete despair. Sarathel's second elite squad. Kratos remembers fighting harvest phantoms while playing as Old Kimchi. The problem is that they are always in phantom form. Old Kimchi strikes a phantom, and if they touch you, Old Kimchi cries out in pain, attacked by a harvest phantom. They literally start sucking the time out of you. Old Kimchi's phantom separates from his body. Don't forget about skill copying either. They're real nuisances. Kratos begins. Well then, and thinks to himself, but there's a way to get rid of them. Kratos scratches his arm. Who wants to get fried to a crisp first? And realizes, I just need to strike using the lightning attribute. Harvest phantoms run away. It's a trap, run. Kratos screams furiously, No way, the real trap is yet to come. The harvest phantoms rush to the door and see a bloodstain on it. What the? There's blood. Last night, Kratos smeared the entire warehouse with blood. Kratos scratches his hand, summoning lightning. And now, phase 2 of the skill. Kratos presses his hand with a lightning discharge to the warehouse floor. Lightning runs across the floor and walls of the warehouse. Lightning gathers at the warehouse gates in front of the Harvest Phantoms. Kratos delivers a wide area strike. Large area blood strike. The Harvest Phantoms perish from the lightning. Kratos roars menacingly, "Now we can kill them physically! Farmer Squad, forward!" A squad of demon farmers bursts into the warehouse with weapons. The farmer squad attacks the Harvest Phantoms. Kratos watches proudly. They might not look like much, but this is the strongest squad. Farmers fight the Harvest Phantoms. These lizards are just a snack for them. Kratos, with the air of a victor, watches the battle. Wow, now I really feel like a true alpha male. Maybe I actually fit into this world after all. Kratos notices one Harvest Phantom. There are still phantoms left that weren't hit by the discharge. Kratos jumps at the Harvest Phantom and strikes it with lightning. "I'll finish them myself." Kratos freezes on a pile of potatoes, hearing a voice. At the bottom of the potato mountain where Kratos stands, Flutie is stuck. Kratos looks in shock. What? How? Since when? A Harvest Phantom attacks Flutie. Dirok sees this while fighting another phantom and shouts, "Flutie!" Kratos considers a plan of action. Oh, for crying out loud, these ignoramuses again. Never mind. Right now, it's more important to destroy as many phantoms as possible. That's more important. Kratos grabs a potato in his hand and swings. And how do I do that? Bloodstrike doesn't hit that far. The potato flies with force at the phantom attacking Flutie. Worry on Kratos' face. What an idiot. What effect are you expecting, throwing a potato at him? The potato hits the phantom directly in the head. The potato bounces off the phantom. The potato acquires a red aura of power. Kratos sees this and tries to understand what's happening. A red spirit flies out of the potato. The red potato spirit falls next to Flutie. The Harvest Phantoms run out of the warehouse. Kratos peers closer. Wait, is that sprouts? A potato with 3 green sprouts. Kratos understands. Ah, a potato with a red aura around it and a dial on it. Harvest Phantoms absorb time. This helped to jumpstart the potato's biological clock. Kratos pulls Flutie out of the potato pile. Kratos, with a terrifying face, thanks Flutie. Good job, little one. Flutie feels ill from fear. Kratos releases the girl and slides down the mountain, summoning demons. Farmer Squad, attention! Forget about destruction. Kratos grabs a potato. From this moment on, Kratos clenches the potato in his hand in front of him with a furious look. We are going on the offensive. It will bring us more benefit. A field with fertilizer under the scorching sun. Where am I? Tied and exhausted Aseroth. Who am I? What am I living for? Tied Aseroth looks at the sun. Oh, the sun is so beautiful. The source of life. I'm grateful that I can meet you face to face. Aseroth's stomach rumbles. Oh, I'm hungry. Even in this state, I still have a thirst for life. Aseroth hears a call. Lord Aseroth. Flutie brought fried potatoes in a cup. Thank you for telling me about the potato sprouts. It all worked out in the end. I even got dried potatoes as a reward. Aseroth disbelievingly opens his eye wide. Lord Kratos gathered all the landowners and left with them to plant potatoes. Dry, appetizing potatoes. Aseroth falls into a rage. Give food! Flutie takes one potato in her hand while Aseroth rages on the cross. Are you hungry? Take one! Flutie throws a potato at him. The potato hits Aseroth in the eye. Aseroth screams. I'll kill you! I'll kill you! Flutie takes another potato. But pardon me, let's try again. 2 potatoes hit his eyes, but one goes straight into his mouth. Aseroth enjoys the taste of the potato. Delicious. New notification. Some warriors of the Demon King's army feel happy from delicious food. Points earned +1. Level 302. Kratos looks at the notification. This time, the payments for dried potatoes and new farmers gave me 300 points. What did I get the rest for? What difference does it make? The more HP, the better. Kratos smiles contentedly. They'll come in handy for fighting Sarathol. I'll find a use for them. Farmers, time to attack. Kratos and the generals and army shout enthusiastically, Bountiful harvest! Kratos and the army stand at the bridge to the first zone. Ficamir's spirits chop the bridge ropes with axes. But break the bridge! An axe chops a rope. The bridge breaks off on that side and hangs. Hehehe! What will you do now without a bridge? Kratos jumps to that side towards the spirit. The spirit is in shock. Huh? But Kratos falls short. The spirits laugh at Kratos. Ha ha ha, what an idiot Kratos is. He just jumped, you fo-oh-oh-oh. The spirits' faces show surprise. The spirits notice that Kratos didn't fall but was absorbed into the cliff. Confusion on the spirits' faces. Kratos moves within the cliff. He moves again and again with a menacing gaze. Kratos gets closer and crazier. The spirits scream, "Ah, ah, 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 ah. I feel sick. How disgusting." Credo stands before them, ready for battle. The spirits tremble in terror. Scary, scary, so scary. Kratos points a finger at them, all according to plan. Zephyros watches calmly. Kratos runs forward. "You're so smart, Kim Jang-cheol, to guess that the spirits of gluttony would be afraid of potatoes. But what if I burst in alone, with bare hands?" Sarathel screams wickedly, observing. "You're completely alone, and you don't have those cursed potatoes. Forward, spirits of gluttony. You just need to touch him, and victory is yours." Kratos attacks the spirits. Kratos' eyes burn red. Final attack, quantum leap. With this method, Kratos moves through the mountain. Kratos gets stuck in the mountain, and in the next moment he's not there. The spirits are confused. "I don't like his movement. Since when did he learn to pass through walls? Above! He's above!" The spirits try to catch Kratos. "Grab him. If we catch him, we win." No, the Demon King disappears in an instant. The spirits continue their attempts to catch him. Kratos thinks of his success. "I played the game 19 times. I know the map inside and out. If I go through all the regions where they are and gather them all in one place..." The spirits surround Kratos. Kratos exhales. The spirits begin to cheer over Kratos. "He's exhausted. Even the Demon King has a limit." Kratos freezes proudly. "No, I am not the Demon King right now. I am a gaming nerd." Zephyros shouts loudly. The demon farmers begin throwing potatoes at the spirits. "Potatoes! Sprout!" The potatoes begin to interact with the spirits, and Kratos stands majestically surrounded by sprouted potatoes. Agronomist? Zephyros, observing, thinks, "At first I was skeptical. But this time too, the Demon King was right." Zephyros remembers Kratos telling him, "While I gather them all in one place, you, Zephyros, will take command of the farmers and lead them across this map." Zephyros then noted, "Old channel, that's a dead end where there's nothing." Kratos smirked contentedly. "You're wrong. There is," Kratos proudly declared. "A secret shortcut." Kratos, surrounded by sprouted potatoes, remembers. "I discovered it after a thorough search, when I was escaping from the terrible dead cliff before moving to the final map. A memory of old Kimchi standing in a dead end. There's nothing here, and what was all that effort for? I thought then." Afterwards, old Kimchi noticed. "Why is the texture different?" Old Kimchi began swinging his sword at the wall. Old Kimchi broke through. Old Kimchi went through the passages. "This is where these paths connect. The cave leading to the first battle with Sarathol." "What? I can't go up there?" "You can only get there after clearing." Old Kimchi finds a chest and opens it. There's an elixir of transformation. There, I was able to get the elixir of transformation. And if it's still there, I'll need to save it. Elixir of transformation. The essence of the cherished desires of an ancient dead giant. He who consumes it can once change his appearance as he sees fit. Kratos freezes with a serious face, while in the background farmers gather potatoes. The potatoes have sprouted. Now they can be planted. The farmers are happy. "Wait for me, Flutie. Now we too can live with full bellies." Kratos is silent. Kratos remembers his grandmother's words. "You must be so hungry, Jang-cheol." The wrinkled old woman says, "Grandma will feed you a hearty dinner. Just wait a little." An ambulance takes the grandmother away as the grandson watches. Kratos has a lost look. Kratos quietly says in her memory, "I'm just trying to feed them, and you..." Kratos gets angry against the backdrop of happy demons. "You're getting in my way." Bahal addresses Kratos, "Demon King," to which he responds. Bahal says, "Sarathol is strong. I will help you." Kratos menacingly orders Bahal, "Go carry potatoes. This is a leader's job." Sarathol summons forces at a huge blue stone, great heart of the ice spirit. Sarathol shouts, "With your almighty frost you will capture more spirits. Give me even more warriors and power." Kratos kicks Sarathol in the head. Sarathol puts his hand to his face. "You brute, Kratos! How did you know I was here?" Kratos cuts him off. No time to talk. Kratos prepares for battle, stretching his arms. Sarathol sits by the great heart, and Kratos stands before him. Sarathol stands up. "Fool, you came alone, thinking you could defeat me?" Sarathol dissolves. "You haven't seen..." Sarathol becomes a mass of particles, my true power. Kratos is serious. Actually, I have, and many times, about 19 to be honest. Kratos remembers old Kimchi crossing that bridge. During the pursuit of Sarathol through the gorge, I constantly encountered his pawns, and in the end, I was able to destroy every single one. Great heart of the ice spirits. Then, this genius went to the hall where the great heart of the ice spirit was located. They say this artifact was created at the cost of a dragon's life, which was imprisoned in this world in impenetrable ice. Old Kimchi observes Sarathul at the great heart of the Ice Spirit. With the heart's power, Sarathul tried to summon more warriors, but at that moment the paladin arrived and the final battle began. Kratos watches intently. That's when he showed his true power. A large air funnel forms above Kratos. Kratos observes, Sarathul says. Undoubtedly you are strong, Kratos, but that's precisely why... The air vortex swirls. An air clone of Kratos appears. Victory will be mine, perfect copying not only of appearance but also of the opponent's stats. A memory of old Kimchi fighting a clone of old Kimchi. This is the final battle, so each time he would absorb my power when it was at its peak. Because of insane powers and almost cheating skills, just one mistake can lead to death. Before Kratos stands his clone. However, the stats he copied right now, Kratos laughs wickedly, pathetically weak. Kratos' clone attacks. New notification, use HP to improve stats. Available HP, 302, you use 50 HP to improve agility, 20 to 30%. Kratos dodges. Kratos punches the clone in the stomach. The clone attacks with a fist. Notification, you used 50 HP to improve strength, 20 to 30%. Fist to fist. The clone screams in pain. Yeah, painful. Why am I the only one suffering? Kratos gloats. Farming requires very intelligent brains. The clone scratches its arm. Blood! The clone screams. New notification. You used 50 HP to improve magic power, 20 to 30%. You used 50 HP to improve intelligence, 20 to 30%. Kratos blocks the strike. Strike. The clone is in shock. The clone attacks in a rage. The clone turns into a puddle. The puddle falls before Kratos' eyes. The puddle lies there. New notification. You used HP to improve each of the stats. Kratos looks at the notification. Huh? New notification. Growth quest. Max all stats. Completed. As a reward, a new skill has been unlocked. Summon Farmer's Throne. Unlock cost, 100 HP. Farmer King's Throne. Created from various farming tools. Kratos looks thoughtfully. Oh, not bad. I was just looking to upgrade my gear. The puddle calls Kratos. Kratos. Kratos notices the puddle. What? The puddle rebels. Do you think this is the end? Kratos calmly replies. Yeah, sure. It's the final battle. How could there not be a second phase? A dragon appears before Kratos. Behold my true form, the form of the ancient evil dragon. Kratos is slightly surprised. Wow, it actually looks cool in real life. The attack power and health reserves are no joke. Well, he is the final boss after all. Kratos smiles. But you know what? Kratos' army bursts in. Bahal kicks the gates open. Behind Kratos are his army, Bahal and Zephyros. I just cleared the entire final zone myself. And what do you say to that? The dragon freezes. The dragon hesitates. Just a minute. Let's talk first. The army and Bahal attack the dragon. For a good harvest. The farmers hit the dragon. How dare you trespass on our fields? Die, die. And the dragon screams. Please, have mercy. Kratos observes this. Well, if we faced each other, I probably could have defeated him. But he moves and talks. I kind of don't feel like dealing with him personally. Kratos enjoys the sight. Although they haven't eaten enough yet to fight well, they've been hitting him for so long and he still won't die. Maybe I should strike once myself. New notification. Skill unlocked. Summon Farmer's Throne. Available HP 2. First zone lands. Summon Farmer's Throne. From the sky, under a light, a throne made of farming tools falls. The throne falls toward the dragon. The throne falls with force. Kratos freezes. Huh? The throne falls between the farmers, destroying the ground beneath it. The farmers rejoice. We expected no less from the Demon Lord. You didn't just kill him, you smashed his skull with one blow. Man, awesome. A true villain. How great our Demon Lord is. Small fry like us could never repeat it. The farmers praise Kratos. Kratos is the best. Yes, Kratos. Kratos shouts in agreement. Whatever. Asarath and Ficamir observe. Oh, Ficamir gives up the ghost. I send. Asarath stands in the field tied to the cross. Next to him is an empty cross. All the fields are plowed. Farmers carry sprouted potatoes in baskets. The potatoes have sprouted. The farmer's throne stands on the ruined earth. And I successfully got rid of all the pests. The army with Kratos and Bahal goes home. Now, time to plant potatoes. Great heart of the ice spirit. Kratos and Zephyros turn around. New notification. Quest defeat Sarathul in the Gorge of the Dead 20 times. Completed. Kratos freezes. Did the system count the previous 19 attempts? New notification. As a reward, a hidden quest is activated. The Great Heart of the Ice Spirit. The Great Heart of the Ice Spirit steams. New notification. The source enclosed within the heart of the Ice Spirit has awakened due to improper use. The Great Heart of the Ice Spirit opens. Kratos approaches the great heart of the ice spirit. A small dragon emerges from the great heart of the ice spirit. Kratos squints. A dragon? The small dragon notices Kratos. The little dragon smiles. Q! The little dragon smiles sweetly. Chapon. Kratos freezes before the dragon. The little dragon looks closely. And this creature, my dad. Kratos reaches out his hands to it. The little dragon smiles in Kratos' hands. Kiapon. Kratos holds the little dragon next to its broken eggshell. I was so scared in the egg it was dark in there. But now, I've hatched. Finally, Dad found me. Kratos smiles menacingly, fire in his eyes. You, for sure. The little dragon trembles looking at him. Dad? The farmers furiously call out to Kratos with the baby dragon in his arms. Hooray, yay! Chew it up and eat it. Crunch, crunch. Yum, yum. The little dragon in his arms cries as the crowd shouts, Eat him! Eat him! Kratos shouts menacingly, Fools, if he grows up we can eat even more. The little dragon roars in his arms. Dad, he seems to want to eat me. Kratos freezes. The people greet Kratos with joyful shouts. The farmers are back. Look, the potatoes have sprouted. Well done. You've all done a great job, Flutie shouts joyfully. Dad. Flutie hugs her father. The little dragon watches affectionately. Huh? Such warmth comes from all of them. The little dragon looks at Kratos. They're not scary at all. Kratos has a very creepy face. No, very scary. Kratos' castle. The little dragon sits alone in the corner, trembling. The little dragon looks scared. Kratos sits on the throne, looking eerie. The dragon trembles even more. No, he's waiting for me to grow up. Kratos looks disappointed. And what am I supposed to feed him? They say baby dragons eat precious stones, and all I have here is rusty iron, let alone precious stones. Zephyros comes to him, adjusting his glasses. My lord, I've come with a report. Kratos notices him. Zephyros continues. As you expected, we've had problems with arranging the beds. Kratos scratches his head. Ah, I thought so. Beds in the field. Beds are raised mounds of earth arranged between fields, or between rows where crops are planted. Soil pours down in a stream, and obviously only earth is needed for their construction. But this soil is too rocky. Farmers struggle with the soil using tools. Ow, my pickaxe. We dig, but we can't dig at all. Why is it all just rocks here? The little dragon looks sadly from his arms. They're all slaves. Will they treat me like that too? Kratos, with the little dragon in his arms, looks displeased. This isn't a field, it's some kind of mine. At this rate, we'll spend a ton of time clearing the field of rocks. Kratos thinks unhappily. If we keep hiring so many people, our dried potato supplies will run out very quickly. And even if other lords send helpers, it won't solve the problem. Kratos unhappily touches the little dragon's ear. Ugh. How I wish, like the main character of some manhwa, I could summon some beast, like a wombat or something, that would just clear the whole field of rocks. Kratos notices Flutie digging the ground. Flutie tries so hard that sweat streams down her face. Kratos watches carefully. Kratos stops. Enough whining, I need to figure out a way. That's what farming is like. Unforeseen problems constantly arise. Kratos hears a scream. It's the wind of blades. A huge hurricane appears before Kratos. The hurricane is enormous. Kratos is nervous with the little dragon. Oh, shh. I completely forgot. Kratos remembered old Kimchi standing before the hurricane while playing the game. Winds of blades randomly appeared in these wastelands. If we get sucked into them, gusts of wind chop. It'll chop us into mince. Kratos shouts, run, hide behind the rock. No. Farmers run to the rocks, run where the shadow falls, lie on the ground as low as possible. Kratos runs to cover with the little dragon. Damn it. The epicenter is still far away, but the wind is already so strong. In the game, it was just a joke. Natural disasters. That's the biggest enemy of agriculture. Kratos and the farmers run, while Flutie runs back. Kratos freezes. What? Flutie runs to the tied Asarath. Lord Asarath. Darok runs to his daughter. Flut! Kratos shouts. That little rascal again. Kratos hands the little dragon to Darok. Darok stays with the baby dragon, and Kratos runs to help. Baal shouts worriedly, My lord, it's too dangerous. You'll die. A farmer stands nearby. Kratos runs to help. I know that myself, but I can't lose my precious workers and my lightning rod. Farming isn't just peacefully picking pears and apples to find your zen. Asarath shouts furiously, What are you doing? Get out of here! Flutie tries to pull out the cross to which Asarath is tied. Heh. Kratos runs to Flutie, Asarath, and the hurricane, because farming, it's life itself, and war. Kratos shouts at Flutie, Get out, runt. Flutie holds onto the cross. King. Kratos breaks the cross with his foot next to Flutie. Asarath falls with the cross. Asarath falls face down on the ground next to Flutie. Kratos' face is cut by the hurricane wind. Flutie tries to untie the rope under the cutting gusts of the hurricane. Asarath fiercely shouts at Flutie, "This rope immobilizes the 4 heavenly kings. You won't untie it. Get out of here faster." Kratos grabs Flutie, who screams, "Wah wah wah." Kratos also grabs the cross with Asarath. The little dragon watches nervously. "I feel the power of this creature. Dad, you're not strong at all." Kratos shouts from the hurricane cuts. Kratos runs from the hurricane. The little dragon watches carefully, and yet the hurricane chases Kratos with his burden. The hurricane is getting closer. Kratos is cut by the gusts of the hurricane. Kratos covers Flutie. Kratos falls, protecting Flutie, and drops the cross. The little dragon breaks free from Dirac and flies to Kratos' aid. "My dad, a kind creature." The little dragon flies to them into the hurricane. The little dragon gathers air. "Chip on." The little dragon spews ice breath. The breath flies in a wave into the hurricane. Wounded Kratos watches. The wind of blades has weakened. Did the frost really weaken the flow of wind? The little dragon diligently spews ice breath, puntin' in. The little dragon tries with all its might. Kratos closes his eyes. No, the little dragon couldn't have done that. The hurricane rages. The little dragon flies back. Baal carries the cross with Azarath, Dirac carries Kratos, and Zephyros carries Flutie out of the hurricane. Kratos' castle. Kratos lies on the bed. Sergei and Hartok walk down the corridor. Sergei and Hartok are serious as never before. Hartok looks with burning eyes. "While the Lord is unconscious, we'll cut off his head." Sergei agrees with him. "And then we'll deal with those 2 idiots, Baal and Asarath, and one of us will become the new Lord." Sergei and Hartok activate their powers, Hartok says. "Until then, we are allies." The door to Kratos' bedroom opens. Sergei and Hartok approach Kratos on the bed. Sergei and Hartok swing at Kratos. Sergei and Hartok freeze. "Huh?" Kratos wakes up in a rage with red eyes and plasters on his face. Hartok and Sergei tremble. "Hish! He knew we were coming?" Hartok and Sergei attack. There won't be another chance. Baal and Asarath appear in the doorway behind them. "What do you 2 think you're doing?" Baal says sternly, "The Lord is sleeping. Do not disturb." The Lord lies with a furious face. "Is this how he sleeps? Without a doubt, he is the Lord of Darkness." Baal warns. "If you wake him, you'll regret it." Hartok freezes. "Okay, that blockhead, but..." "Asarath, you too. Do you really support the Lord who made us farmers?" Asarath replies with a smile. "Not exactly. Recently, I owe him my life. I just don't like being in debt. Next time, call me directly." Hartok explains to the others. "Haven't you understood yet? Because of growing these potatoes, so many problems have fallen upon us. The harvest will die, and we will die of hunger. Are you really so short-sighted that you can't realize this?" Azarath, covered in plasters, says, "All of this is necessary." Asarath remembers Flutie digging a hole. The girl's hand with the shovel is covered in scratches. Asarath says seriously, "To avoid hunger, and for that, you must put your life on the line." "Well, if I'm going to die anyway, I'll fight for my life first. That's my style." Hartok and Sergei listen in silence. Hartok warns, "Remember, you'll regret this." Hartok and Sergei leave past Baal and Asarath. Kratos' voice is heard. "Wah wah wah, yum yum," Baal remarks. "The Lord has woken up." Kratos holds his head with a wounded face. Asarath, "You." Asarath smiles smugly. "Humph, you heard that after all? I'm not on your side or whatever you've made up for yourselves. I just don't like being into..." Kratos shouts menacingly. "What the heck is a living lightning rod wandering around and chatting with everyone, as if it's normal?" Azarath freezes. Lightning strikes in Kratos' castle. Baal carries an unconscious Asarath on his shoulder after the lightning strike. Kratos walks ahead. "We don't have much time. Gather everyone. We need to continue uprooting stones." Baal notes, "Stones. Zephyros collected them, almost none left." Kratos freezes. "What?" Kratos watches the farmers making beds under Zephyros' guidance. Kratos approaches Zephyros. Zephyros, mourning. "Where did you put all the stones?" Zephyros turns around. "My lord, you have awakened." Zephyros points. "Oh, if you're so interested, they're over there." The little dragon flies over the field. "Huh? Tiban?" The little dragon gathers a mouthful of stones in flight. The little dragon crunches on the pebbles in its mouth. The little dragon swallows. "I was too small to deal with the wind blades, but if I eat everything, I'll definitely grow." Kratos shouts at the little dragon. "Tiban!" The little dragon sees Kratos. "Dad!" The little dragon lands in Kratos' hands with a creepy face. "Tiban! Ha ha ha! My little sugar plum!" Recalling how the little dragon spewed ice breath. Wind blades don't appear often. It takes time for them to form. But if Tiban watches the sky and stops the tornado with ice breath in time, we can avoid them. It's unpleasant, but in our conditions there's no other choice. The fields are almost ready, so it's time to prepare the potatoes. Zephyros reports, "Chunyo supplies are running low. Should we make new preparations?" Kratos waves him off. No need. Kratos looks confidently. The farmer's first enemy is the weather. The second is expenses. These are the walls we'll have to overcome. Corridor and door leading to Sergei's room. Sergei takes off her helmet. Beneath the helmet is a beautiful face and long blonde hair. Sergei adjusts her hair. Sergei gets angry in front of the mirror. This manure stench, it doesn't go away, even if I don't go to the fields for a whole day. A knock at the door is heard. Then Kratos' voice. Sergei, I need to talk to you, she thinks. The Lord? He's never come to my chambers before. She replies. What is it? I have nothing to talk to you about. A voice comes from the door. But I really need your help. Please, open the door. Sergei gets angry. I suggest we avoid a pointless conversation. Kratos doesn't give up. If we keep talking through the door, we'll definitely waste time. Sergei rejects. Please, leave. Kratos stands his ground. Nope, I'm coming in. Sergei turns around angrily. I said, I have nothing to... Kratos enters the door using his own method. Sergei screams. Kratos approaches Sergei. Sergei is nervous. Are you crazy? Who in their right mind breaks into a lady's chambers like that? Kratos kneels before her. Sergei is in shock. What the hell? Kratos doesn't get up. Sergei, without you, nothing works out. Sergei can't believe what she's seeing and blushes at the situation. Kratos kneels menacingly. I'll kneel as many times as it takes if it helps save money. Right now, I need your sharp blade. Sergei, blushing, twists a strand of hair around her finger. Sergei constantly adjusts her hair. If you had said, earlier, oh, okay, well, at least, I'll listen. What you wanted, she thinks to herself. Really? Why all of a sudden? What nonsense. Has she lost her mind? Sergei and Kratos stand before a large pile of potatoes. Kratos asks, cut all these potatoes for me. Before planting, you need to cut them in half. Sergei freezes at the sight of the pile. She starts to get angry and thinks, was this jerk playing with me? Damn, Lord. Sprouted potatoes with eyes appear before them. It's incredibly simple. Don't touch potatoes with 3 or 4 eyes. But if there are more, cut them. The potato is cut in half. You need to cut it so that each half has roughly an equal number of sprouts. Kratos holds a couple of potatoes. Clear? Potato time. Sergei in anger. Why the hell do you think I'd agree? Kratos throws the potato and shouts, cut! Sergei draws her swords and starts slicing potatoes like a lawnmower. Potatoes are halved with sprouts. Kratos is amazed. Oh. Kratos checks the halves. Incredible. How did you manage to get them so even? Kratos smiles. I knew it. I only need you. Sergei freezes, embarrassed, then starts shouting angrily, do you think I'll fall for your sweet talk? Liar, scumbag, villain. Kratos abruptly approaches Sergei. Hey? Kratos takes her hand with the sword. She blushes. What are you doing? Kratos wipes potato off her sword. The sword shines clean. Sergei blushes watching this. What's happening? Handsome Kratos cleans the sword. The sword, all covered in potato juice. I must clean it. Sergei looks flushed with thoughts. He's lost his mind. Why does he need this? Why is he so sincere and gentle? What's happening? Kratos is pleased with his work. Now it's clean. Good. If you don't wipe the juice immediately, you can harm the rest of the potatoes. You need to maintain cleanliness and sanitation. Kratos looks at the embarrassed Sergei. I'll say it again. Kratos looks at Sergei. I only need you, he thinks to himself. She's the only one who can cut potatoes without damaging the chunyo. Sergei looks blushing. Sergei looks away. I'll help. But only this once, she thinks to herself. I'll forgive him this first time. Stupid Lord, he can't do anything without me. Kratos leaves, pleased. Awesome. I'll go get some boiling water and grab more rags. None of us are sleeping tonight. Sergei thinks, embarrassed. Why is he so fired up? Idiot. A real one. Potatoes are cut in halves with sprouts. Hartok watches from the side. Kratos wipes the weapon. That's it. Now raise your left hand. I'll wipe everything off quickly. Sergei pulls away. Hey, stop grabbing my hands. Kratos apologizes. Sorry. Not tired? Sergei replies. Well, not mortally, Kratos says. I know a song that will cheer you up. Sergei cuts potatoes and Kratos wipes swords. Hartok gets angry. Damn it. And you join the fools. Just a couple of compliments, and you're already groveling at his feet. Asarath on the cross under the scorching sun. Asarath dries up in the heat. What is life? And what is it like to live? What is the meaning of a lightning rod's life? And can a life full of suffering be called life? Flutie came with a cup of dry potatoes. Lord Asarath, the adults have a little chunyo left. Let's play chunyo toss. Asarath replies with dry lips. Damn, brat. Do you think I, one of the 4 heavenly generals, would play with a nobody like you? Just let me down. I'll mince you first. The potato flies into his chin and bounces off. Flutie throws potatoes again and again. Damn, you can't even throw properly. Throw it here. Can you aim properly? I hope he dies. Hartok watches him. Hartok looks with contempt. Asarath is finished. They made a complete laughingstock of him. His soul is in turmoil. Hartok leaves but hears. Farmer's squad, attention. We brought sliced and dried potatoes for planting. Kratos, Zephyros, and Baal walk to the field with bags of potatoes. Finally, we'll plant the field with potatoes. Hartok observes. Baal has always been an idiot, so there's no need to be surprised. Both of them, real idiots. Farmers thank Sergei with a bow. Thank you, Sergei. Thank you very much for cutting all the potatoes for us. Sergei replies, embarrassed. Oh, shut up. I wasn't doing it for you at all. Sergei blushes, putting a finger to her chin. Sergei, what a stupid look. You're a mighty general of the demonic army. Demons rejoice at the sprouted potatoes in the bowl. Sprouted potatoes. Are you really that happy? And aren't you demons ashamed? Hartok looks angrily. Fools, idiots, complete morons. I, Hartok, the smartest of the higher demons, will definitely take the Lord's throne. Kratos shouts to everyone. Listen to me, without being distracted from planning. Soon the potato sprouts will appear from under the ground. Baal and Zephyros stand behind him. Kratos continues. As soon as that happens, we'll need to cut out the eyes. Baal clarifies. Baal is good at cutting out eyes. Whose eyes do we need? Kratos realizes his mistake. Forget the eyes. Just shut up. Kratos shows his hand and folds his thumb. Potatoes have at least 3 sprouts. Rarely, 5 or 6. Kratos points his index finger up. Question, more sprouts or fewer? The crowd shouts guesses. More, the better. Kratos denies, no. Hartok observes this. How pathetic. And why do demons need to know this? One of the farmers in the background of Hartok says, Why is a smaller number better? The second farmer replies. Agreed. More sprouts are more profitable, period. Hartok looks irritated. The Lord seems to have made a mistake. Hartok looks at one of the farmers. Worthless idiots. The farmer turns to him. Lord Hartok? Hartok looks angrily. You'll understand if you use your brains a little. Each sprout requires a certain amount of nutrients, just like the roots we eat. And if there are too many sprouts, the potato won't be able to properly nourish the roots. Kratos watches as Hartok talks to the farmers. Kratos is amazed. Hey Hartok, how do you know so much? Did you study farming somewhere? Hartok confidently declares. Does something so primitive need to be studied? Potato sprouts and roots are connected to each other and feed on the same substances. Isn't that obvious? Kratos freezes in surprise. Then, what number of sprouts would be ideal? Hartok confidently closes his eyes. No more than 2. And why are you asking? One might think that one would be enough from the point of view of nutrient distribution. However, if it breaks, the roots will stop being nourished. You didn't even think about that. Kratos states uncertainly. In that case, after cutting out the eyes, there's the next stage. What do you think it is? Hartok confidently continues. Preparing healthy soil? It is necessary to add compost and dig up the earth, enriching it with oxygen. Baal and Zephyros freeze, but such soil will please not only potatoes. Sergei also freezes in shock. Various weeds will also want to get nutrients. Kratos listens without blinking. So, we'll have to get rid of them. You would have figured it out yourselves if you used your brains once in a while. Kratos urges the farmers to admire Hartok. Applause. Quickly. Incredible. He's a genius. Applause for the farming genius Hartok. The farmers cheer loudly. Gay, Nias, gay, Nias. Hartok gets angry. Gay, Nias, gay, Nias. Hartok stands thoughtfully by a tree. Mother always called me short-sighted. Hartok covers his mouth with his hand. Oh, come on. Like an idiot. Kratos approaches Hartok. Hartok. Kratos smiles menacingly. The wisest and most knowledgeable demon. From this moment, please lead the farmer squad as head. Hartok looks at him with anger. Humph. You're joking. I'm a demon. My mind is needed for theft and murder. Kratos shouts furiously. What are you waiting for? Show your respect to the higher demon. Kratos hypes up the crowd. Hi, 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 Hartok gets angry to himself. Shut up, you worthless creatures. Hartok proudly declares, head held high. From this day, follow me, he thinks to himself. I'll help you, a little. The crowd cheers joyfully. New notification. You emerged victorious from 4 psychological battles. Kratos notices the notification. Huh? Psychological? What's this about? New notification. You worked through Baal's lonely childhood and made him your loyal subordinate, he thinks, looking at Baal. Me? Yes. How? New notification. You gave Asarath a friend he never had. His cruelty stats have been reduced, Kratos himself thought. Friend, who is it? New notification. You won the heart of Sergei, who had never known the taste of love. He thinks to himself, awesome? But what did I even do? New notification. You gave Hartok what he desired most. Recognition. He thinks to himself. So they had scars on their hearts. New notification. You can use 200 OS to unlock a new skill. New skill, blood vision. Blood vision? That wasn't in the game. Is it an original skill, like the Farmer's Throne? New notification. You will be able to see the near future of the selected target, up to 6 hours. Kratos looks closely at the notification. Your target can be a living creature or an ordinary object. Kratos notices one important detail. New notification, even the heavens if you wish, huh? What the... Kratos smiles menacingly. Weather forecast? Map with a red cross. Somewhere between the abandoned demon lands and human territory. Village against a mountain backdrop. Village of the exiled. A foot takes a step onto this land. Ravage and Dial climb in through a window. Ravage lowers his foot. I'm healthy again. Ravage breathes a sigh of relief. What a relief, young master. Ravage smiles. Thank you, Dial. You've been through a lot taking care of me. I wish I could be born into a more resilient body in my next life, Dial says. And I'd like to be rich, born an aristocrat with tons of gold and control everyone around me. Ravage laughs. Ha ha ha. Your plans for the next life won't come true either. Raver looks at Old Kimchi. We are going back to the kingdom. Will you come with us, Old Kimchi? Old Kimchi is silent. I don't even know. Ravage and Dial look at him. I already said I'm not sure who I am or who I was before, but it doesn't seem like I'm from human territory. Residents look with shocked faces. When I first entered the village, it was immediately clear from the residents' eyes that I wasn't welcome here. Old Kimchi looks displeased. Is someone like me welcome anywhere? Ravage and Dial look at him. Ravage says, I advise you to just change clothes. Ravage, Dial, and Old Kimchi leave the hut. Old Kimchi has a cloak on, Dial remarks. So you still decided to keep this strange look, Ravage guesses. You must be very attached to it. Old Kimchi looks sadly at the floor. These clothes, I want to take them off myself. Old Kimchi in a pink dress holds the edge of his clothing, but I can't. It's as if they're an extension of my skin. Ravage thanks the man. Thank you for your help. To condemn you to live here just because you are descendants of exiles. It's too cruel. When I meet the king, I will definitely tell him your story. Old Kimchi watches calmly. An aristocrat by royal decree is exploring the nearby demon lands. He has no unnecessary pride, and he's kind and attentive. A good person. But what kind of person am I then? Old Kimchi remembers fighting. Reva Diol and Old Kimchi leave the village, continuing to fulfill the mission sent to me. I just killed, again and again. Old Kimchi looks sadly down. Can someone like me do anything other than cruelty? Farmers look at the first sprout in the ground. Farmers cry out joyfully. A sprout! It broke through! There it is, cute little thing! Bal and Sergei look at the sprouts in surprise, and the farmers shout, It's true! There's a whole bunch of them! They grew! They made it! Flutie shouts to Asarath on the cross. Lord Asarath, sprouts! The potatoes have sprouted. Azarath shouts indignantly, What's that got to do with me, brat? Kratos, with the dragon on his shoulder and Hartok behind him, gives a command. Squad, attention, it's time for hilling. Farmers shout, Our general head Hartok, we're listening to you. Hartok begins, embarrassed. When hilling, you must carefully cover the sprout stem with soil. Potato sprout with fruits underground. This will prevent the potato from breaking out into the sunlight. Otherwise, the color of the root vegetable will change, and the taste will become even worse. In some cases, poison may be released, which will prevent us from making chunyo. Evil potato. Exactly. Simply put, the potato will become cursed. Kratos rallies the crowd against the backdrop of an embarrassed Hartok. Applause. Quickly. Incredible. He's a genius. Applause for our farming genius Hartok. Kratos, with the little dragon on his shoulder, freezes looking at the sky. And now, let's check the weather. Kratos looks at the red sky. I invested 200 OS in the ability to know the weather forecast. Blood vision has intensified. Activation conditions. Do not blink for 200 seconds. Kratos struggles not to blink for a long time. Holy cow, this is hard. The farmers watch Kratos. Look, the Lord is crying. I'm sure he's so happy about the sprouts appearing. New notification. Activating blood vision to view the future of the heavens. New notification. Warm and dry weather is expected for the next 6 hours. You might want to get a humidifier. Kratos contentedly feeds the little dragon a pebble. Great, No wind blades today either. Get some good rest, T-Bon. Zephyros approaches Kratos. Lord, urgent news. Kratos turns around. Zephyros says, a subordinate of the second Star Master Planus has arrived. Kratos looks surprised. Kratos' castle. My name is Leploa. I, the faithful advisor of the second Star Master Planus, greet the Lord. Before him, kneeling, stood a living tree root with one arm missing. Immediately after receiving the ceasefire order and sending aid for agriculture, the third Star Master, Raster, attacked us. The tree continues. He said that you, my lord, are weak, so he would take your place. At this, Kratos, hand on his head, thinks, ugh, why are these bastards all the same? Zephyros speaks up. If the third Star Master subordinates the second and unites their forces, it will be difficult for us to deal with them. Kratos ponders more deeply. He's right. Though their ranks are low, their numbers, he continues to think tensely. Therefore, before the second Star Master falls, I need to hurry and defeat Raster, but I can't abandon the fields. Above the cliff of death, below the bog of decay. The territory belonging to the second Star Master is located at the far foot of the cliff of death and is called the bog of decay. Compared to the game map, the bog is 10 times larger and ridiculously far from us. Kratos stands by the well. The abandoned well, controlling buffs and all game changes. If we use it, we can quickly get there. But the well under the demonic castle doesn't work. How can I combine farming and fighting? He continues to think as the little dragon licks his cheek. Wait a second, why am I even stressing out so much? I'm the Demon Lord. Kratos rubs his chin with an evil smile. The final boss never fights with his own hands. Sergei feigns embarrassment. Not that I'm eager to fight for the Lord. Bal shouts furiously. Bal, we'll do whatever the Lord commands. 2 generals stand against the backdrop of an army ready for battle. 2 of the 4 heavenly generals will lead the warriors. I'll send some strong but dumb demons with them, those who are no help on the fields. A corridor with an open door and an arrow pointing the way. As soon as they enter the final boss zone, all shortcuts should open. That way they'll get to the bogs of decay faster. Hartok flies over the field, humidifying it, and Kratos gives an order. Genius all-purpose broad-spectrum sprayer, forward, Kratos thinks, and Hartok and I will focus our attention on growing potatoes. That settles it. Burning castle in a swamp with roots. The tree bows before the demon in flames. Planus shouts, Raster, you bastard! How dare you defy the Lord's order and plot treason? The second Star Master, Planus. He replies, exactly, as you said, it's treason, but don't misunderstand, I have no choice. Raster continues angrily. If we lay down our arms, it will lead our entire race to decline. The third Star Master, Raster. Planus shouts angrily, the Lord has already thought about this. He wrote about agriculture. With his help we can feed everyone without attacking humans. Raster looks at him. That's not the problem. Raster swings at Planus. Battles, that is the pride of our demonic race. Our history. They strike. The weapon flies out of Raster's hands. Raster is shocked. Sergei and Bal walk towards him. Raster shouts in shock. The 4 great generals! She walks towards Raster. You're right, Raster. Our history is full of battles. Flutie runs across the ground. We like it. We enjoy killing. She continues to run. Sergei prepares to attack. But since when did that become the norm? When did our whole lives turn into one continuous battlefield? Flutie ran to her father. Dad, quickly, let's run to the field faster. Sergei in flames. Now we must understand. Demons and Flutie watch, mesmerized. Preserving life, not killing. The field bloomed with potatoes. Flower petals fly. This is what we should be proud of. Demons and Flutie cry with joy. Aseroth cries. Zephyros and Hartok simply watch. Kratos watches everything from the side. Flutie runs to Kratos and Zephyros across the blooming field. She runs to Kratos. Look how beautiful it is here. I've never seen anything like it. Kratos smiles slightly. Sergei attacks. She starts striking Raster. Bal grabs Raster from behind. While Bal holds Raster, Sergei strikes him blow after blow. Kratos replies to Flutie. Yes, the flowers have bloomed. A whole bunch. Raster shouts. Wait, stop. Didn't you claim you came to kill? You said we should protect lives. Why the hell are your words and actions completely contradictory? Sergei freezes. Oh, well, you're right, except she continues the attack. Sometimes you have to kill someone to protect others. Raster shouts, Ha! What kind of nonsense is this? Kratos commands, baring his teeth. Cut all the useless flowers, right now. Farmers and Flutie freeze, tears in their eyes. Aseroth shouts on the cross, Wah! You're not a lord, you're a complete bastard, I won't forgive you for this, wah. Hartok looks maliciously. Ho! Even such a scene couldn't melt your heart. You are a true demon lord. Asarath continues to shout, "Wah, wah, wah, bastard, psycho." Hartok extends his hand forward. "What are you all doing? Hurry up and cut the flowers." The demons nod. "Oh, okay." A demon tearfully plucks a flower. The flower weeps. The demon pounds his hands on the ground. "I can't. It's beyond my strength. We grew them with our own hands. Until this day there was nothing more beautiful on this land." Hartok looks sternly. "Don't you understand that if we leave them, all the nutrients will go into forming seeds and flowers? This is part of our Lord's plan, the essence of which is to ensure that as many potatoes as possible are filled with nutrients." Flowers and demons cry. Kratos gleefully shouts, "Wah ha 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 ha! I can already hear the word potato echoing through the area." Observers think, just as expected from the demon lord, he enjoys destruction. Bal and Sergi bring the bound Raster to his knees. Sergi says, "Raster has been captured." Kratos on the throne looks at him. "These are the consequences of your revolution. The first Star Master has already fallen. What are you going to do now?" Raster looks angrily. "Just kill me. A demon defeated in battle must die." Kratos strikes Raster with lightning. "Done. Strike." Raster laughs. "My defense is too good, so such attacks are useless." Kratos agrees. "Oh, really? You're barely hurt." Raster is tied to the cross. Behind him is a poster for a third-generation lightning rod. We have a new addition. Raster is shocked. "Strike!" Raster shouts. "Wah, wah, wah! Just fucking kill me." Kratos shouts, "Hey, someone, take down that lightning rod. Lately, it's as useless as tits on a bull. Time to retire him." Asarath shouts, "What?" The rope falls to the ground. Asarath falls to the floor. Flutie runs to him. "Lord Asarath." He laughs, and Flutie looks at him. "Heh, heh, 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 heh." Asarath shouts furiously, "You pathetic demon spawn. You've tormented me for too long, and you'll be destroyed first." Flutie freezes in horror. Asarath attacks Flutie, then stumbles, and he falls in front of Flutie. "Ah, ah, ah!" Asarath lies on the ground. "How long it's been since my feet touched the ground." Bal looks at Asarath. "Asarath, you are aggressive." He tremblingly lifts his head. "Bastard, smart words don't suit your dumb face." Bal picks up Asarath. Asarath is indignant. "Ugh, drop me! What are you doing? Don't carry me like a princess." Bal fastens him to his back with a blanket like a child. Bal says calmly, "This is the Lord's order. You'll sit like this for a while." Asarath squints in shame. "What humiliation, I'll definitely remember this." Kratos watches Bal carry Asarath away. "Well, I was worried you'd cause trouble again. But thanks to blood vision, I know you'll be paralyzed for the next 6 hours." Kratos remembered not blinking. He gives an order. "Gather up. Harvest is just around the corner. Let's speed up the process." Sergi cuts potato flowers. With Sergi's super-fast blades, all the flowers were cut in an instant. Hartok summons moisture. And thanks to Hartok's skills, watering is not a problem for us. Kratos thinks. The autumn harvest is approaching, and the number of rations given to workers instead of wages is steadily decreasing. Dirok plucks potato flowers. Even considering that demons often starved and just survived before, you can see how tired they are. Flutie and the baby demon pick up flowers. Planus approaches Kratos. "Lord," Kratos turns around. Your..." Planus kneels and places his hand on his chest in reverence. Second Star Master, Planus, has come to express his gratitude for saving him. Kratos freezes with a shocked look on his face. "Gratitude?" Planus is surprised. Kratos is angry. Planus freezes. What made him so angry? Kratos looks angrily. "That bastard shows up empty-handed and then spouts off about gratitude. You should have at least brought a crate of booze or some red ginseng." Planus justifies himself. "Ah, I am currently gathering the subordinates of the Third Star Master. I'll send them with the workers soon." Kratos thinks. Well, they don't have enough food either. I've gotten too used to Korean culture." Kratos silently thinks. Potatoes. Will everything really be okay? I want to gather a whole ton and make lots and lots of chunyo. All the demons work. I want to see these demons eat their fill. Kratos put his hand to his chin. Why did I even start farming anyway? Planus bows. "To then, I'll prepare the warriors as quickly as possible." Kratos nods. Ah, right." Kratos watches Planus leave. This guy was one of the weakest and most underdeveloped bosses. He revered strength as truth and was deeply devoted to his beliefs. Kratos puts a finger to his lips. Well, after all, he's a plant, so maybe he'll be useful. Planus leaves. He takes steps. This soil, so rich... Planus likes it. It's full of nutrients that aren't in the swamps. Planus approaches the dead cliffs. When I was a young sapling, the soil I grew in had no micronutrients. Planus jumps down, but this land, he falls below the cliffs. These vast expanses occupied by Lord Kratos. Planus has fire in his eyes. Planus slows himself with branches. Planus sends roots into the ground. Thanks to them, I can become stronger. His eyes glow yellow. I can become the next lord! Roots begin to spread. The sun emerges from behind the mountains. Kratos shouts furiously, demonic warm-up, begin, and then he commands the farmers. And one, and two, and one, and two. Farmers carefully repeat, and one, and two, and one, and two. Farmers shout enthusiastically, and one, and two, and one, and two, and one, and two, and one, and two. Kratos squats, and one, and two, and one, and two, and one, and two, and one, and two. These guys used to be useless. He remembers the farmers, and now they precisely follow my instructions. That's what demonic power means, even when I give sudden instructions. Kratos commands, left. The farmers roll to the left in the direction of Kratos' hand. Left! Kratos orders. Right there. The farmers roll to the right. To work on a farm, you need to be at least somewhat physically developed. Now they can handle it without me. Baal runs with Asarath to Kratos. My lord, we have big problems. Baal shouts, all the potato tops have turned yellow. Kratos nervously freezes. Yellowed potato tops. Hartok, Zephyros, and Sergi look at the field. Zephyros makes a guess. Maybe we overdid it? Sergi watches silently. Hartok thinks seriously. Even I don't know what to do about this. Maybe there wasn't enough wind. Or water. Hartok thinks to himself, biting his lip unhappily. Tsk. What else should be expected from agriculture? What idiocy. Zephyros notices Kratos walking towards them. My lord, what happened to them? Kratos kneels down to the potatoes. He squeezes a potato stem and pulls it from the ground with the tubers. Hartok freezes. What? Kratos examines the tubers. The color is pale, but the tubers are big. They're twice as big as the first batch? No, even 3 times. He concludes, should I say that the potato tubers have awakened? Kratos holds the plant in his hand. They grow by sucking all the nutrients from the leaves, to become even bigger. All his servants look at Kratos. Thank you for your work. Kratos says proudly, you grew them. The generals are moved. Baal cries and Asarath is touched. Kratos' castle. Kratos lies on the bed looking up, and thinks we grew them. Kratos remembers how tomatoes grew in a pot. Oh my god, have the cherry tomatoes ripened? A memory of his grandmother praising her grandson for the tomatoes he grew. Jang Cheol, you grew them. A memory of his grandmother being taken away by an ambulance. Jang Cheol shouts, his grandmother in poor condition, on oxygen. Kratos lies silently on the bed. Kratos turns on his side, putting his hand under his head. Ugh, ha! Useless memories. With my personality type, I shouldn't give in to such sentiments. He opens his eyes. Soon I'll be able to gorge myself on potatoes, but it's too early to relax if I only eat potatoes. Hungry old people and children gather potatoes. And if some disease strikes it, we'll all die off, just like during the Great Famine in Ireland. From 1845 to 1852, the Great Irish Famine occurred, caused by potato blight, which was the main food product in Ireland. Kratos lies on his side. I'm just solving urgent problems with potatoes, but I need to get seeds for other crops as soon as possible. He freezes. He gets up excitedly. What's that? The building is collapsing? The floor collapses. Tree roots abruptly burst from underground. Kratos dodges and shouts, what is this? Flutie notices something near the potato stems. Leaves fall. Oh, no. The Demon King said that potatoes grow, and that's why the leaves die. Leaves fall. Flutie starts digging the ground with her hands. Huh? No, something strange here. She pulls out a potato stem. Flutie cries in tears, No, the potatoes, our potatoes. She runs, crying, and need to tell the adults. She freezes in shock. Flutie sees the roots attacking Kratos' castle. Kratos is grabbed by his arms and legs by roots. Planus looks menacingly. Wah ha ha ha, you're like a pathetic bug, Demon King Kratos. Kratos shouts in disbelief. You, Planus, Planus says contentedly. The potato field, full of nutrients, created by the Demon King. Thanks to it, I've grown so much. Kratos freezes in shock. Flutie sits in a field of dying potatoes. Kratos clenches his teeth in anger. You, bastard! He shouts furiously. What did you do to our food? Planus smiles. Are you mad? And what can you do to me? Roots throw Kratos. Kratos falls face down into the rough ground. Blood gushes from Kratos' mouth. Baal and Zephyros run while Hartok commands. Hurry! Get out faster! Baal stops. I'm coming out to defend the Demon King. Sergi holds one of his arms. We'll live, but let the Demon King fall. Gather quickly. Asharath holds Baal's other arm. You're crazy? Baal shouts furiously. No, the Demon King is weak. I realized that when Baal picked him up. He's very weak. The roots destroy the ground down to stones. Planus is enormous and powerful. Kratos falls down. The generals and Zephyros freeze, watching. Zephyros, with the little dragon on his shoulder, watches. This is... Planus stands proudly. Planus says, demons heed me. Planus says confidently, Kratos is dead. Asharath and Baal watch in disbelief. Sergei and Hartok freeze as well. Zephyros can't believe what he hears, and the little dragon cries on his shoulder. Demons watch and listen. Remember the most ancient law of the demonic race. Power comes from strength. Planus doesn't hesitate. From this moment, I am the new demon lord. Demons freeze before Planus, bow before absolute power. Hartok observes everything. I feel it. Planus absorbed all the nutrients from the soil, and after Kratos' death, he became the strongest demon. He takes a step. Demons. He falls to one knee before the generals. They obey only the strongest. Sergei clenches her lips and kneels. On their knees are 4 generals except Zephyros with the dragon. We welcome the new lord of these lands. Zephyros is in silent shock. Azarath shouts at Zephyros, Zephyros, why are you frozen? Immediately show respect. Zephyros trembles, clenching his teeth. Trembling Zephyros kneels on one knee. Planus watches. Zephyros cries, Kratos' memory. Mom says to her son, Zhang Xiol, do you want to play hide and seek with Mom? The boy shouts joyfully. Yes, I do. Kratos watches. This is that day. Am I dreaming? Mom's face with parched lips. Good. Then close your eyes and count to 10. And when you're done, try to find me. The boy nods. Okay. Kratos looks bewildered. 5, 6, 7. The boy hides by a tree counting. 8, 9. The boy stands alone. 10. Kratos watches without emotion. Mom, where are you? I can't find you. The boy shouts and searches. Mom, come out. I'll count to 10 again, and then you'll come out, okay? Kratos looks regretfully. 8, 9, 10. Mom. The boy cries on his knees. I counted to 10, Mommy. Kratos cries. I counted. The boy cries hysterically. Hey! New notification. Kim Jang-cheol, come to your senses. Kratos, wounded, opens his eyes. His eyes are bloodshot. What is this? System just called me by name? His lips begin to move. Hey, System, where am I? Am I dead? New notification. Please move. Only then can you survive. Kratos lies under a pile of earth. The quantum leap is glitching. Ha. There's no room even to turn. Kratos' hand twitches slightly. My hands are moving. Little by little. I must dig my way out. Kratos' hand begins to dig the earth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His mouth forms a grimace. 7, 8, 9, 10. Kratos lies in the darkness underground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 9, 10, 1, 2. Planus commands, Chronicler, step forward. Zephyros approaches, hand on his chest. Chronicler, Zephyros has arrived by the Lord's command. Planus remarks, describe this historic moment well. From this fateful moment, demons will begin to conquer human lands. Planus' pupil glows green. We will enslave them and grow them for food. Hartok observes, so we'll return to where we started. Well, this should be fun. Fighting and killing to conquer the continent. Asharath observes, we've been doing this our whole lives. Sergei watches, if it helps with hunger. Baal is silent, but the 4 generals are furious. Why am I filled with rage? Kratos counts in the dark. 5, 6, that's even. 8. Kratos exhales heavily. I can't breathe. Planus commands before the kneeling demons. Demons, arm yourselves. We begin the war. Zephyros is silent. Zephyros says, my lord, it's impossible. Planus freezes. Hartok and Asharath watch anxiously. Zephyros continues. At the moment, there's only a little potato left among our provisions. We won't have enough supplies to start a war. Planus looks. You're always such an idiot. A tendril from Planus reaches out. We already have a large supply of provisions. The tendril lunges forward. The tendril grabs Flutie. Her father shouts, Flutie! Asharath freezes. Planus lifts Flutie. Weak and useless demons. We have plenty of them. Just eat them. Am I not right? Flutie cries with tears. No, we don't do that anymore. We no longer need to eat each other to survive. Flutie shouts, because our lord Kratos found another way. Planus looks at Flutie. The tendril drops Flutie. Kratos lies in blood under a pile of earth. My heart isn't beating. Kratos holds his hand to his chest. If I die. Kratos remembers the demons. They'll start to starve again. Kratos opens an eye. Bloody, strike. Kratos strikes himself with lightning. His eyes glow. I can't let this happen. Kratos raises his hand. 1. Kratos shouts. 2, 3, E. Kratos claws his way out of the pile of earth. 4, 5. Planus watches. Azarath catches Flutie. Kratos in the pile of earth. Bloody strike. Kratos strikes himself with lightning. Kratos crawls out of the pile of earth. Hard, very hard. Kratos looks with his last remaining strength. His hands clear the earth. How far have I crawled? Am I moving in the right direction? Kratos' hand clenches the earth. This should work, right? Kratos freezes, exhausted. Hartok and Sergei freeze. Bal is silent. Asarath holds Flutie in his arms. Flutie looks at Asarath. Lord Asarath, Planus doesn't understand. And how am I to understand this, Asarath? Have you gone mad? Asarath looks angrily with Flutie in his arms. Azarath is angry. Planus looms over them. Asarath mumbles, No, this is, well... Asarath bites the head of an uncomprehending Flutie. Ah, she's my emergency ration. I've had my eye on her for a long time, and I decided to save her to eat her before she spoils. Planus' tendril swings. The tendril knocks Asarath off his feet. Azarath flies past Zephyros. Asarath flies past Sergei and Bal. Asarath falls unconscious. Zephyros watches anxiously. Planus says proudly, I repeat for the last time, prepare for war. Zephyros is silent. Zephyros, unable to endure, shouts, We have no reason for this. A tendril flies to attack Zephyros. An axe follows. Bal chops the tendril in front of Zephyros. Planus is indignant. Bal shouts, clutching Zephyros, The Lord has already given Zephyros a task. If Zephyros dies, who will count all the harvest? Planus in anger. Bastards, decided to rebel? Hartok kneels behind Bal. Rebellion? Not at all, my lord. Hartok raises a menacing gaze. We are simply confident that the former lord's path of cultivating the land is the most reasonable and should continue to be adhered to. Sergei asks, I have a question. Sergei looks at Planus. The former lord found a way to avoid so many senseless deaths, so why should we start a war? Planus rages, Parasites! Planus summons many tendrils. Planus shouts across all lands, I am power. I am the power here. Hartok rises. No, you're not. Hartok, Sergei, and Bale prepare for battle. Zephyros watches carefully. Authority must be earned. Demons shout. Our lord is Lord Kratos. Pay for the potato fields you destroyed. Tendrils rush towards the demons. Hartok uses his powers. Misty Veil. The tendrils are repelled. Sergei goes into battle. Bal shouts, Forward! Bal throws Sergei. Sergei skillfully chops tendrils. Sergei attacks before Planus' eyes. Sergei shouts in attack. First, I'll pluck out your eyeballs. Planus knocks Sergei down with a large branch. Tendrils grab Bal. Hartok is pinned to the ground by a large branch. Planus attacks. How dare you challenge your lord's strength? Die, all of you. Planus' eyes burn. Your death will prove that I am stronger than the pathetic Kratos. Tendrils attack the demons. Your lord? Hartok lies under the branch. This pathetic coward didn't even try to resist. Tendrils hold Bal. Why are you still on his side? Sergei lies in blood. Her weapon is nearby. Her helmet has flown off. What's so special about him? Zephyros grabs Flutie and runs. A voice is heard. Ha! Why do you have such low self-esteem? Planus freezes and watches. Kratos' clenched fist punches out of the ground. Kratos' fist rests against Planus' branch next to Zephyros. The branch splinters. Planus hisses, You... Zephyros and Flutie are happy to see Kratos. New notification. On the verge of death, you acquired a new system and skill. Against the backdrop of a menacing Kratos, a shout is heard. Lord! New notification. Concentrated nutrients mode activated. Kratos pulls out his bloodied fist. Kratos stops the sprout with his hand. The sprout shatters into splinters. Planus screams, You... Flutie and Zephyros look at Kratos with joy. New notification. On the verge of death, you have unlocked a new characteristic and skill. Everyone shouts, My lord! New notification. Activating nutrient concentration. 10 minutes ago, Kratos lies on the ground. Kratos has a weary look, too hard. A memory of his grandmother cooking while her grandson watches from the side. The old woman turns around. What did you say? The grandson buries his head in his hands. It's too difficult. The grandson's gaze falls. Why even live if it's this hard? His grandmother watches in silence. The old woman's hands take seeds from a husk. We are like seeds after all. The grandson freezes, listening. His grandmother tosses a sprout into a separate bowl. Every living creature is a seed. Even in tough times, we must find a way from deep within the earth to the air and sprout. A sprout pushes through asphalt, and when the sprout appears, it will give birth to other seeds. And then young sprouts will fill more and more space. The boy watches the sprout, and one day, the sprouts grow. The boy sits happily in the greenery. Everything will turn green. The grandson shouts, Stop spouting nonsense. The grandson yells at his grandmother, Then why did my father die of overwork? Why did my mother abandon me? Am I a rotten seed? I've had enough. The grandson cries, I will live only for myself, just like my mother. I'll succeed and live my life as I please. The grandson runs after the ambulance, carrying his grandmother away. His grandmother, through an oxygen mask, spoke weakly. Jang Cheol, All of us. Zhengqiao cries, holding the old woman's hand. Seeds. Kratos, gritting his teeth, strikes with lightning. Kratos electrocutes himself. Bloody strike. New notification. Kim Jong-cheol, you have endured the pain of death and rebirth. New notification. Thanks to your willpower and spirit, you have overcome yourself and unlocked a new characteristic. New notification. Mana seeds unlocked. Kratos looks at the notification. Mana seeds. Wait a second. This wasn't in the game. New notification. As a reward for your third resurrection, your mana seeds will open immediately with 3 levels. New notification. Mana seeds boost all of a specific player's characteristics. Notification. Mana seeds level 3. Boost level times 1.3. Kratos thinks, all stats will increase by 30%. This way I can get out of here. Notification. Additional mana seed skill. Nutrient concentration. Kratos watches intently. Notification. Concentrate all power into one characteristic. Limitations. Can be used once a day for 10 minutes. Kratos' eyes widen. Notification. Mana seeds activated. A bright light? A seed appears. Notification. Kratos shouts, nutrient concentration, everything. Notification. Into power. Notification with increased power. Kratos powerfully digs into the ground. Planus summons sprouts. A hole appears from the ground. Kratos' hand emerges from the hole. His cloak flutters. Kratos stands before Planus. Planus screams, Kratos, so you managed to survive? Kratos looks with disdain. What a dumb question. Open your eyes, I'm right in front of you, idiot. The demons freeze, Lord Kratos, it's Lord Kratos. The demons cheer, Lord Kratos is alive, the Lord has returned. What a bountiful harvest, what a bountiful harvest. A baby dragon flies to Kratos in tears. Cue. The baby dragon nuzzles Kratos' face. Artok thinks, thank the Almighty, but Sergei watches. Right now, Planus is too strong. Baal freezes. My lord, he won't be able to defeat him. Planus laughs, though it's even better this way because now... Planus screams maliciously, I'll kill you and all your subordinates. Kratos confidently replies, no, you won't be able to touch any of us. Planus attacks with a branch. Deep Purple, no matter how much he's leveled up, he still follows game patterns. If I treat his attacks as normal just with an increased radius, I can dodge. A memory of Kratos commanding demons, and also... The farmer squad became much more efficient after daily training with me and my crazy exercises. The demons repeat after Kratos. Kratos orders, attention, everyone stand behind me and form ranks. Let's start the warm-up. The demons line up behind Kratos. The command rings out, jump left. The demons jump. The demons dodge the branch's attack. The command rings out, jump right. The demons dodge the branch's attack again. Next command, push-up position. The demons and Kratos fall to the ground in a plank. Command, rotate left, rotate. Kratos and the demons evade Planus' attack. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Command, back. The demons and Kratos jump back. Command, jump. Kratos and the demons dodge again. Planus attacks in a rage. What kind of ballet is this? Why can't I hit them? Kratos freezes with the demons. Good. After this, Planus will take a long time to recover his strength. Kratos shouts, and now. The demons and Kratos take a stance. With a mocking gesture pointing a finger forward, Kratos orders, taunt. Planus rages, ah-ha-ha-ha-ha. Planus attacks. Kratos smiles. Super! He's enraged. Until now, we've been using game patterns, and now we'll use normal world logic. Kratos shouts, go, T-Bone! The baby dragon flies into battle. The dragon gathers its breath. The baby dragon attacks. Ice breath. Ice flies towards Planus. Kratos observes, even with my new buff, it's useless to just hit this huge mass. But, in the end, he's just a plant. Planus, covered in ice, shouts. You damn insect, Kratos thinks. If I freeze him to extremely low temperatures, the branches become covered in ice. He'll start to expand, and his bark will crack. Kratos smiles, and then the branch freezes and the baby dragon flies towards it. The branch cracks. Crack! Planus freezes in shock. The branches begin to break. The bigger they are, Kratos says threateningly, the harder they fall. Planus' branches break, encased in ice. Planus screams, what the heck? The baby dragon flies back to Kratos. The baby dragon, tired, leans against Kratos' hand. Kratos praises him. You did great, T-Bone. Kratos hands the tired baby dragon to Zephyros, and finally, Kratos crouches. Kratos jumps off the ground. Let's send him to the earth. Kratos flies to attack Planus, the weakness of any tree. Kratos flies into the hollow, his hollow. Planus' hollow. Kratos strikes the hollow. The hollow splinters apart. The hole gets bigger. Planus screams in pain. Zephyros watches in gusts of wind. My lord, he won. Notification, deactivating nutrient concentration skill. Kratos falls down. Planus is defeated. Planus' eyes darken. Planus closes his eyes. Zephyros doesn't believe it. His face is gone. Is he dead? Planus falls to the ground. Kratos lies powerless, observing. Strange. In the game, after death, the body completely disappeared. So why is it still here? Kratos is alert. In the background of Planus' falling body, several sprouts stir. A body begins to form. Kratos watches this. Damn it. What's that? I don't even have the strength to lift a finger left. A new body formed from sprouts. The demons are on alert. The body speaks. I absorbed all the nutrients. And as soon as I realized I was about to die, I directed all resources to creating a new body. Planus walks towards Kratos. I was a seed that fell into a poisonous swamp and grew into a rotten sprout. Kratos lies on the ground. And now, having acquired the power of the Lord, I will make the whole world drown in poison. Planus attacks Kratos. Die, Kratos. We are all seeds. Bal attacks Planus with an axe to save Kratos. The axe bounces off Planus' face. The axe gets stuck in Planus' neck. Bal doesn't understand how this happened. Planus easily swats Bal away with one blow. Other seeds. Sergei attacks Planus with multiple swords. Planus knocks Sergei away with a punch to the stomach. They watch and gather strength. Hartok attacks the neck from behind. Planus drops Hartok headfirst onto the ground. Damn bastards, we are seeds. Aseroth attacks Planus and his neck is cut on the sides. Aseroth screams, pray for a bountiful harvest. Aseroth chops off Planus' head. Kratos watches with his last remaining strength. Planus' headless body begins to disappear. Planus' body dissolves into thin air. Planus' body has almost completely vanished. Planus' large old body also disappears. The body vanishes before their eyes in a green light. Many green lights hover over the demons. Kratos takes a breath. That bastard, he deserved it. The generals look at Kratos. Hartok hears Zephyros' voice. Getting back to the question of treason. Zephyros, with the baby dragon on his shoulder, makes notes in a notebook. Thus I attest to and record the fact of the victory of the Lord's army. Hartok is silent. Hartok, extending his arm victoriously, shouts, yes, Kratos. The demons cheer, yes, Kratos. The generals cheer, yes. Everyone shouts, Kratos. Their cheers are interrupted by the Lord's shout. Enough, I said, enough. Everyone freezes. Kratos looks aside. On the ground are destroyed potato sprouts. Kratos lowers his gaze. A leaf rustles on the ground. Kratos falls to his knees. Oh no, my field. Everything's gone. I'll have to start all over again. Kratos looks lost. They'll starve again. And I have to make them start from scratch again? After everything we've already been through? Kratos clenches his teeth. No way in hell I can't make them toil again. The generals look at him sadly. Green lights fly over Kratos. One bright green light. The light falls down. The light falls on a leaf. The leaf absorbs the light. The leaf glows. Demons are imprisoned in cells. I recently spoke with the head of livestock. They say a couple of days ago the Lord changed. Little Zephyros in the cell listens to the other demons. So what? What difference does it make who's in charge now? We're still just food. A huge demon approaches the cell. The prisoner runs away. Gah? The demon unlocks the cell with a key. The demon enters while the prisoners scatter. He, ka! The huge demon freezes. Little Zephyros sits before him, not moving. The demons exhale. Little Zephyros doesn't even look at him. The demon grabs the boy by the collar. The demon lifts the boy above himself. In his hands is a cleaver. Zephyros looks on unemotionally. The demon swings the cleaver. The cleaver flies towards the boy. Kratos stops the demon, squeezing his head with his hand. The boy and the cleaver fall from the demon's hands. Kratos tears off the head of the demon guard. The head flies far beyond the threshold. Kratos looks at the boy. Kid, Kratos menacingly freezes. Why didn't you beg for your life? Zephyros declares, I have nothing to fear. On the contrary, I consider death a relief. Zephyros continues, it doesn't matter how we fight. Food is food. It cannot live. And the best solution would be to shorten the time I tremble in fear, awaiting death. That's why. Kratos smiles. You're different from them. The boy looks at Kratos, listening to him. Come with me. I appoint you the new chronicler of the demonic race. Kratos leaves. It would be a waste of resources to turn someone like you into meat. Although for some time we will still have to eat our kin. The boy looks at Kratos, but someday I, Lord Kratos, will solve this problem. Zephyros looks hopefully. This tragedy of killing our own children. Zephyros in the present time looks at Kratos. Kratos bowed his head. Zephyros pursed his lips. Zephyros walks away from Kratos. Zephyros takes a hoe in his hands. Sergei, Hartok, and Bal watch intently. Zephyros begins to dig the earth with the hoe. Hartok observes. Hartok orders, Farmer Squad, what are you doing? Hartok shouts fiercely, hurry up and level the soil. We need to make garden beds. The demons take up their tools. The demons rush to work. Let's go. Kratos observes. The demons level the ground, singing songs. Ge ge yo, reached unprecedented heights. Bindweed chokes the potato. This is what any garden looks like on the map of demonic lands. Kratos gathers his thoughts. Aigagay. Kratos shouts. First group, your task. Find at least one plot with living fruits. Second and third groups, grab your hoes and go. Sergei prepares his swords. Sergei, cut the remaining potatoes. Zephyros, help wipe the blades. Hartok and Asarath listen. Hartok first group and Asarath, bring the tools I'm about to name. Kratos shouts, spreading his arms. In the name of the demons work with hoes, a bountiful harvest. Bal growls, Hia-ah. Hia-ah! Bal pulls the demons with hoes. The demons make ridges. Kratos ponders. I almost forgot what true farming is all about. Natural disasters, pests, price fluctuations, climate changes. You fight against all kinds of enemies, suffer setbacks, and start the battle anew. Survival is war. Flutie sees a sprout. This sprout is still alive! Flutie runs to the sprout. Flutie touches the sprout. Good thing at least one survived. In the background lies a tied-up Ficamir. Pity. Flutie tugs the sprout. Kai, why won't it come out? Kia-a. Ficamir lies in the background. Please, have mercy. Asarath's hands cover Flutie's hands on the sprout. Asarath warns, hold on tight, you brat. 1, 2, 3. Flutie and Asarath pull the sprout out of the ground. Many are pulled along with the sprout. Many large potatoes are pulled along. Ficamir watches. One potato lands on Ficamir's face. Asarath is in shock. What the? Flutie is happy. Kratos turns at the shout, my lord, my lord. Kratos opens his eyes wide. Look, potatoes. So huge. Flutie brings a potato the size of a rock. Kratos takes the potato. Is this really a potato? Where did you find it? Flutie replies. I pulled on the sprout, and a whole bunch burst out of the ground. Kratos freezes with the big potato. Kratos remembers Planus' body dissolving. Something similar happened in the game after defeating Planus. Kratos remembers areas overgrown with grass. After his death, small green patches appear on the ground. So, his nutrients are returning to the earth. Kratos remembers Planus' big body dissolving. And now he was 100, no, 1,000 times bigger. Kratos yells, Farmer Squad, drop everything and dig deeper. The demons dig and find large potatoes. It's huge, unbelievably massive. The farmers lift the big potato up. Our harvest is alive. Everywhere you look, there's potatoes. Whole bunches of huge root vegetables. Kratos watches with a giant potato and a dragon on it. Look, over here too. How many are there? The farmers, Bahal and Hartok, celebrate the huge potatoes. Zephyros approaches Kratos. My lord, is this a bountiful harvest? Kratos smiles. Thank God. Yes, you're right. I'm so glad. Kratos cries tears of joy. This is a bountiful harvest. Now everyone will be fed. An old shack with a pile of rocks nearby. Kratos sits on a crate. All right, let's summarize the current situation. A map of the first burning zone. Let's start with the territory of the first Star Master. Dead rocks. Saratul rebelled against me and was killed. And after the destruction of the heart of the forest, all his cronies disappeared. There's no one there now. Absolute emptiness. A map of the second burning zone. Next, the lands of the second Star Master. Various plant demons. After Planus' death, all his subordinates are in complete shock. A map of the third burning zone. Finally, the territory of the third Star Master. Ficamir tied to a cross. Lord Raster is currently acting as a lightning rod. Should his henchmen be punished too? A map with the fourth burning zone with a monster in the background. The fourth Star Master belongs to the reptilian race. His name is Tartu. In the game, he was described as quite loyal. Kratos thinks, hand on chin, the remnants of demons from the second zone and lizards from the fourth will be easy to organize. But we shouldn't thoughtlessly call them all here. Of course, we'll get extra manpower, but there will also be more mouths to feed. Let's wait until the next harvest. Zephyros comes to Kratos. My lord, as ordered, we have begun the sprout cutting process. Kratos replies, Oh, good, well done. Make sure everyone gets their food coupons. A messenger demon flies through the window. My lord, I have sent your orders to the regions. Kratos asks, Did they obey? I can no longer trust them. The messenger demon replies, The fourth Star Master refused. Kratos freaked out. Damn it, why aren't they listening again? The demon continued, Huh? Why? But they didn't tell me anything. Kratos condemns. What? You didn't even bother to ask? The demon looks lost. What? I should have asked? Kratos yells, stretching the demon's arms. Geez, why are all demons so stupid? I want to know why the fourth Star Master refused to obey. The messenger demon screams in terror. The fourth master has few servants left. There's nothing there. Kratos hisses. Did you question the servants? The demon trembles. No. Kratos gets angry. So you don't know why they're not there? The demon nods. No. Kratos is full of disappointment. Damn disappointment. I feel like I'm talking to a dim-witted white-collar worker. Zephyros makes a note in his notebook. Even if he behaves properly, he is still the Lord of Darkness. His face is so expressive. Even after tens of thousands of years, no one will be uglier than Lord Kratos. Kratos yells in a rage. Damn it. What if someone declares war on us? Zephyros holds the messenger demon. I'll try to talk to him. What did the servant say? Where did the fourth Star Master go? The messenger demon cries. The demon replies in Zephyros's hands. They are invading human territory. They said they would use human corpses as fertilizer. Kratos listens carefully. He yells in shock. What did I just hear? Kratos remembers old Kimchi. According to the game's plot, around this time, the ancient paladin awakens. He will destroy any demon he encounters. He nervously thinks. And the longer we don't touch humans, the longer the paladin doesn't touch us. Yes, it hasn't been that long. Old Kimchi hasn't appeared yet, so my theory is correct. But if the fourth Star Master attacks humans, Kratos' vision of old Kimchi killing 4 generals. He will come for our souls. Kratos froze in horror. Zephyros yells, My lord, where are you going? The lord runs out of the shack. Stop that overgrown lizard, Zephyros asks. Maybe we should call for reinforcements? Kratos runs out the door. It'll be faster on my own. After defeating Planus, the Mana Seed improved to level 4. Kratos runs and yells, Mana Seed, nutrient concentration, everything, into agility, notification of increased agility. Kratos runs with all his might, using all the glitches, cuts, literally everything. I need to minimize the time. Abandoned lands of demons. Map. Located near the Tower of Life, the Paladin's tomb. No Man's Land where old Kimchi met Elbia's squad. And the Village of Exiles, where they briefly stopped. And if you go a little further, the border between demon and human lands, Magrath Fortress. A soldier looks into the distance. What? Who's there? Old Kimchi, Rayvaj, and Diol are walking. It's Rayvaj Asrahan. Rayvaj Asrahan is back. But where are all the soldiers? Only that ugly servant returned. And an unknown person with them. A sturdy man stands at the gates and speaks to the newcomers. Thank you for your hard work, Lord Azrahan. The man with light hair and a dark beard continues. And what happened to the warriors who went with you? Commander of Magrath Fortress, Volkos. Rayvaj replies sadly, On the way, we were attacked by monsters. We couldn't even get close to the border. Magrath bows his head. His Majesty's order to explore the demon lands. This is a special mission, so sacrifices are inevitable. They were all good warriors. Please come in and rest. Magrath lets them pass. Rayvaj thanks him. Thank you, Commander Volkos. Everyone enters the gates, but Magrath blocks old Kimchi's path with a sword. Magrath stares strictly. Except for you. Rayvaj Esrahan and DL freeze. Old Kimchi stares eerily. Magrath flinched. Rayvaj steps in front of Magrath, hands outstretched. We met him in the No Man's Land. He helped when I was injured, Magrath reminded him. Lord Azrahan, have you forgotten? Only those who have passed through these gates from the city can enter them again. Dial joins the dialogue. Oh dear, there seems to be some misunderstanding here. Dial rummages in his jacket. Dial hands 3 coins to Magrath with a sly face. Naturally, we are not asking you to turn a blind eye to such a violation. Magrath slaps Dial across the face, causing him to fall. The coins fly to the ground. Magrath yells angrily. You, potato bastard! Your children, and your children's children, and 3 generations after will be bastards. Dial is offended with a slap mark on his cheek. Magrath points his sword at old Kimchi. You immediately remove your cloak. If I find anything suspicious under it, you will immediately lose your head. Rayvaj thinks in a panic. Oh God, no. Literally everything under this cloak is very suspicious. Old Kimchi looks at Dial. Old Kimchi is angry. Magrath freezes. Sound of a trumpet. Screams from the wall. Invasion! We're under attack. A demon army attacks in the distance. Demons. Demons with weapons. It's demons. A soldier runs with a sword. Everyone prepare for battle. Form up. Old Kimchi watches. Demons. The demon army slowly approaches. Kill them! Old Kimchi remembers the voice of a man with a joystick in his hands. Kratos runs at full speed. Kratos thinks to himself while running. Please, 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 please. Just don't attack. Don't touch them. Kratos runs between the mountains. Otherwise, we'll all die. Demons roll a huge sharpened log on wheels. Demons ram the gates with the log. The guards begin firing arrows. Aim, fire. Some demons defend themselves. Others are wounded. Demons throw stones. Some archers fall. A battle is taking place at the gates. The log slowly breaks the gates. The walls shake and collapse with the residents. Old Kimchi thinks, I instinctively rushed into battle. Maybe memories of 19 lives. Old Kimchi defeats a mountain of demons. He holds a demon by the throat with one hand, and of the massacre that happened by fate, they make me enter battle again. A flashback of Ravage pulling old Kimchi away, and if Duke Ravage hadn't held me back, perhaps I would have rushed into the thick of the battle as if it were my destiny and life's path, without even understanding my true desire. The residents are agitated while old Kimchi sits calmly, but everyone is trembling with fear. Perhaps it is in such moments that I am obliged to fight. The gates break and the guards flee. Ravage Dial and old Kimchi hear a scream that the fortress gates, they're not holding. The gates break even more. Demons burst into the city. Gra-ar. Tartu yells, "Kill everyone! We'll make the most beautiful fertilizer out of the corpses." Magrath yells, "Destroy the bridge!" The guard is in shock. But, Magrath commands, "We'll all die here anyway. Better not let these bastards reach our homeland." The entire city and the bridge. An order is given. Decree from the main gates. Destroy the bridge. Destroy the bridge. The bridge is destroyed. Ravage is disappointed. I just heard that the bridge is gone. Dial screams in a panic. "We're all going to die? I haven't even been with the girl once." Ravage is silent. Ravage encourages his servant. "Don't be sad, Dial. Even if we got out of here alive, you still wouldn't have slept with anyone." His face is full of peace. Dial thinks with a stone face. "What a jerk. In my next life, I'll be an aristocrat and run you to death." Residents scream in panic while old Kimchi sits calmly. A demon smashes a wall with a sledgehammer. Residents scream, "Aha, kiara!" A demonic four-fingered paw with sharp claws reaches for them. He grabs a little girl with a blonde braid. The girl cries in tears, "Mommy!" The mother screams, seeing her daughter being grabbed. "No, oh. Ravage stands up, and Diol pulls his hand back. Old Kimchi watches coldly. The demon is hit hard, dropping both the sledgehammer and the girl. Diol is in shock. Ravage catches the girl. A light cloak unfolds. Battles are happening in the city, which old Kimchi watches. Tartu moves towards him. Old Kimchi lands in front of Tartu. Tartu freezes. Old Kimchi stands ready for battle. Tartu observes him. Tartu assesses the enemy. His clothes, what's wrong with them? They're terribly strange. Old Kimchi warns, "I don't want to fight. Retreat." Tartu raises his weapon. "Do you think I'll listen to some costume freak? Clown? What if I don't leave? What will you do to me?" Old Kimchi exhales. Old Kimchi warns, "Your entire tribe, your entire lineage, I will destroy." Tartu attacks Old Kimchi. Old Kimchi calmly watches the cleaver and thinks. In the end, Old Kimchi closes his eyes. Is this really the only way out? Old Kimchi squeezes a stick in his hand. "All right, if this is my destiny, I will accept it." Old Kimchi's eyes glow blue. "I will destroy all demons." Kratos knocks the cleaver out of Tartu's hands, kicking him in the head. Old Kimchi watches in confusion. Tartu flies to the side. Old Kimchi looks at the breathless Kratos and the knocked-down Tartu. Kratos looks worried. Old Kimchi looks at him without a hint of interest. Kratos freezes in shock. Oh, Old Kimchi? Why, here of all places?" Tartu freezes, Lord. Kratos punches Tartu in the face. Kratos begins kicking Tartu in front of Old Kimchi. "You ugly, you thick-headed idiot. Why did you come here? Why did you attack humans?" Tartu tried to justify himself. I just... Kratos continued. "Shut up, you fool. Die, die, die." Kratos glanced back at Old Kimchi. Kratos kicks Tartu again. "We agreed to live in peace, to farm, to live quietly, below the radar. Was that the agreement? Answer me." Kratos yells in a rage. "We're already managing. So why? Why did you personally decide to attack?" And he thinks to himself, "Please, spare us, just this once. I beg you, don't kill all the demons." A flashback of the generals tired after work. Flutie sits on Aseroth's shoulders. Old Kimchi says, "I know you." Kratos freezes. Kratos turns around. Old Kimchi looks at Kratos. "You're the demon lord, Kratos, am I right?" Kratos is silent. Kratos gets a cold shiver. "Well, that's it, time to buy. A plot in the graveyard." The demons whisper, Just now, did they say Demon King?" The Demon King himself has arrived in person. The demons look at Kratos, Old Kimchi, and Tartu. Seems like he's saying something? Too far, I can't hear. Kratos trembles. "See, Kratos, is that some kind of computer operating system?" Old Kimchi stares sternly. "I'm not asking because I don't know." Final confirmation. And he thinks to himself, what is a computer? Kratos' eyes dart around. He already understood everything and is completely sure. Kratos dashes from his spot. "If I keep zoning out like this, I'm 100% going to be attacked. And right now, the best thing I can do is use everything I have in my arsenal." Kratos runs at Old Kimchi. Kratos' hands touch the ground. Old Kimchi observes. Kratos bows so deeply that his horns touch the ground. Demons and guards freeze. Kratos, in front of Old Kimchi, stands on his horns, supported by his hands, with his legs spread apart. Old Kimchi watches this. Old Kimchi is silent. The demons quietly think. The enemy is completely confused. Is this some new intimidation pose from the Demon King himself? Old Kimchi says, "What's wrong with him?" In this pose, Kratos begins to speak. This is called the Great Bow, a gesture of the highest gratitude or apology. Demon King Kratos has no intention of invading the human world. The lizard-brained fool acted on his own will, and the king rushed here to stop him. Old Kimchi asks, "Do you really think we'll believe a demon's words?" Kratos in his bow, "Please believe us. Until these horns are worn down to the brain, I will apologize 10 times, 100, as many as it takes." The demons also think in shock. The threatening pose of a bull goring the earth, as expected of the great demon king. Kratos bows before Old Kimchi, hitting the ground with his horns. "I'm sure I look pathetic and shameful, but if I don't do this, all the demons will die." Kratos bows so fiercely that sweat runs down his face. As a leader who takes responsibility, a memory of a guy bowing before a man in front of a boy. The man speaks with arrogance. "Ha, damn, he actually knelt because of our words. Lol, did he think that would be the end of it? I'll still leave a bad review." The guy bowing, "We are very sorry, dear visitor. We promise this will never happen again. Please don't mind it." The boy looks on with tears. "I will proudly endure humiliation for my people." Kratos falls with his horns into the ground again before Old Kimchi. Kratos bows again, hitting the ground with his horns. Old Kimchi watches and thinks, "It's useless, Kratos. I exist only to kill you." Old Kimchi raises his stick. "I'll kill you now, and then all your demons." Kratos forcibly rams his horns into the ground. "I must kill him." Old Kimchi watches, but this guy, he does 10 hits. Kratos bows his horns to the ground again. Kratos freezes with his horns in the ground. And then a break. Kratos begins bowing again before Old Kimchi. And 10 more. Something painfully familiar. 10 times each. Old Kimchi remembers. Above Kratos, he sees that player with a joystick in his hands. Old Kimchi looks at Kratos. The hand of destiny. Always 10. Even when clearing demon lands, he always counted 10 times. Old Kimchi's memory before a swinging axe. Before traps too, he always counted to 10. 1, 2. A memory of Old Kimchi rolling foolishly. Even when he rolled foolishly, if there were no enemies nearby, he did it 10 times. Kratos bows. "I am very, very sorry. Please spare me. Please spare me." Old Kimchi peers closer. In these phrases, not at all characteristic of the Demon King, but so familiar. "You." Old Kimchi stares intently at Kratos bowing. "Why did the hand of destiny appear before me in the guise of the Demon King?" Old Kimchi can't take it anymore. Enough. Kratos freezes and raises his head to Old Kimchi. Old Kimchi says, "Disappear. My bloodlust is too great." Kratos freezes with a smile. Kratos puts Tartu on his shoulder and waves his hand. "Thanks, thanks. I will never forget your mercy for the rest of my days." Kratos runs and yells, "Fourth army of the Demon King, retreat, everyone, retreat!" And Kratos thinks to himself, "Run, run, run. Faster, get out of here as fast as you can." The demons freeze in confusion. Huh? Why so sudden? What's happening? No idea. The Demon King just ordered it. The demons run after Kratos out of the city, passing Old Kimchi. Old Kimchi stands calmly. Tartu watches from Kratos' back. Old Kimchi stands with his back turned. Tartu yells in a rage, "How dare you, scum!" Tartu breaks free from Kratos' hands and runs to attack. She runs at Old Kimchi. Kratos, reaching out his hand, yells at Tartu, "No!" Old Kimchi carves Tartu with one sweep of his hand. Kratos and the demons freeze. Tartu's remains fly into the mountain. The remains flow down the cliff, and Kratos sees it. Kratos feels sick. Old Kimchi stares ferociously. Kratos' pupils dart around. "Damn, damn, damn," Old Kimchi says calmly. "Just now, that wasn't your will. I understand it was his own decision." Kratos is silent, frozen. Old Kimchi's cloak billows in the wind. Old Kimchi leaves, telling Kratos and the demons, "But if I see your horns in human lands again..." Kratos watches him go. "I will kill you." Kratos' face is covered in cold sweat. The city gates are empty. Ravage in confusion. "Lord Old Kimchi, what happened?" Diol also speaks up. "We were so worried you disappeared so suddenly." Old Kimchi is calm. "I just went out for a bit of a fight." Ravage is in shock. "Huh? With those terrifying demons?" Magrath approaches Old Kimchi. "Your name is Old Kimchi, right?" Magrath bows his head in respect, hand on chest. "Lord Old Kimchi, you swiftly dealt with those lizards, and the remnants of the demon army simply fled, kicking up dust. We all saw it. Please forgive my recent rudeness." Old Kimchi is silent, but Ravage speaks. "Lord Old Kimchi, I knew you were strong, but..." Magrath yells, "Everyone, praise Lord Old Kimchi who defended our fortress." All the soldiers and Magrath cheer with raised swords. "Hurrah! Old Kimchi! Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Old Kimchi simply observes, and in my 20th life, for the first time, I avoided a life drenched in blood from constant killing. Old Kimchi bows his head. I chose the path of salvation. Although I killed two, Old Kimchi smiles sweetly. McGrath and the guards freeze. Abandoned lands, fourth region of the storm wasteland. Kratos runs, followed by an army of demons. Kratos is displeased. Finally, I made it. Moving with such a crowd is too slow. Kratos turns to the demons, fist raised. Now scatter to your castles and homes, and don't stick your noses out. If you invade the human world again, you'll die. Understood? The demons tremble. We were just following Lord Tartu's orders. Kratos yells, no excuses, home now. Kratos walks calmly. Kratos is displeased and tired. Following the game means no glitches, and no shortcuts, that's why it takes so long. I need to get back quickly to check on our potato fields. Kratos walks past a well. An abandoned well. Sigh, if only it worked, it would greatly simplify my journey. A memory where Kratos stands by a well. Wells are essentially buff and teleportation systems. I checked them all just in case, but none worked. Kratos hangs on the well. A teleporter right now? Maybe they don't work because I'm not a paladin. The well glows blue and Kratos notices it. Notification. Thanks to meeting the paladin, a new game system has opened. Notification. Teleport through the abandoned well is open. Kratos is sucked in. Kratos is completely sucked into the well. Notification. All wells you've visited since arriving in this world are activated. Where would you like to go, Kratos thinks. This is it, the well in the Demon King's castle. Wait, isn't it broken? Notification. It still works? Kratos thinks. Great, let's go there. Notification. Teleporting to the Demon King's castle basement. Kratos teleports. Aseroth and Flutie clear ruins. Aseroth stands on a pile of stones. This one's broken too. So, can we just give up on this? Flutie throws stones aside. Please, just one useful farming tool. Flutie sees a glow, huh? A screaming Kratos emerges in the light. Kratos bursts out of a pile of stones in a blue glow, screaming, Cry! Flutie spreads her arms in shock. Flutie faints. Aseroth notices this. Flutie falls to the ground and Kratos covers his mouth with his hands. Ugh! Kuh! Kratos throws up a rainbow. Aseroth runs to them. Kratos throws up directly on Aseroth's back, who is shielding Flutie. Bee. Flutie runs to the dirty Aseroth, while Kratos, sitting on the well, comes to his senses. Ugh! My stomach hurts so much. Why can't I teleport smoothly like in the game? Flutie sees a frustrated Aseroth. Kratos wipes his mouth with his hand. Well, 1 bar for fast travel is a small price. All right, now. Kratos stands up triumphantly while Flutie cries next to Aseroth. It's time to mass-produce truly royal potatoes. Warehouse. Kratos looks at a mountain of potatoes. Even now, it looks amazing. Zephyros replies. Lord Hartok's mist washed everything thoroughly. Kratos watches carefully. Before Kratos is a large pile of big potatoes. Kratos picks up a potato the size of a rock. What's this? Why do they keep rolling down? Kratos carefully examines the potato in his hands. Zephyros is surprised. Kratos is worried. No, damn. Kratos throws aside the mountain of potatoes. Nothing. And here too. They're all gone. Zephyros asks, My lord, is something wrong with the potatoes? Kratos sits with his back to them. All this royal potato. Kratos declares, It has no eyes. Smooth as a baby's bottom. Zephyros concludes, Does that mean it won't sprout? Kratos grins. Exactly. All these potatoes. Kratos collapses unconscious against the backdrop of the warehouse. Sterile. A white flag unfurls on the warehouse roof. Demon King's castle. Temporary. Kratos sits on a wooden throne. Zephyros stands beside him. Before the Lord are his generals. So, even if we plant these potatoes, nothing will grow from them. Hartok explains. Its nature has unnaturally changed, which led to mutation and loss of reproductive function. Behal clarifies, so they're not edible? Cersei replies to him, arms crossed. No, you shrimp brains. You just can't plant them. We can only eat them. Kratos puts his hand to his cheek. Besides, we can't rely on potatoes forever. They are susceptible to diseases. If one gets infected, goodbye all the fields. We'll have to grow other plants too. Aseroth asks, Other plants? What else can take root in such soil besides potatoes? Kratos replies dejectedly, Nothing, but Zephyros watches Kratos speak. I know a place full of seeds, Zephyros thinks. Don't tell me. Kratos continues, a place full of seeds for plantations, the lands of humans. The generals freeze. Behal yells, Invasion! Looting! That's tantamount to war! Cersei cuts him off. Hold on, you idiot! Cersei turns to Kratos. Our Demon King hates war most of all. Kratos sits thoughtfully on the throne. Zephyros watches him. Zephyros immediately prepare a giant amount of chunyo. Hartok also watches, and stay to help Hartok manage the army of farmers. Kratos speaks before the generals. Meanwhile, Cersei, Bahal, Asarath, and I. Kratos smiles wickedly. We'll sell Chunyo in the human world and buy seeds for money. A memory of old kimchi. Old kimchi. As long as we don't cross paths with him, everything's fine, and there's always a way out. The generals freeze before Kratos on the throne. Zephyros clarifies, you want to go to the human world and sell Chunyo? A bold decision. Kratos has no doubt. Do you want to know why I'm talking nonsense? Zephyros extends his hand. Please look closely at the three generals. Bahal looks. No matter how you look at it, one looks like a real nightmare monster. Asarath looks under his hood. The other is just a walking red flag from a normal person's perspective. Looks like a serial killer, too. And his skin? Cersei looks belligerently. The third is completely a humanoid squid with pale skin as if after severe enteritis. Zephyros states, humans would definitely think, here comes the demon race, and immediately grab their swords and pitchforks. Cersei grabs Zephyros, and Asarath draws his weapon. I merely stated the facts, approached the situation with a cool head, calmly and rationally. Asarath mutters, oh, we are very rational, my friend, which means we'll turn you into squid sashimi right here and now. Bahal yells, Zephyros is right. You guys really do look weird. Only Bahal looks normal. Asarath adds, hey, wait, you're the one who looks most like a demon among us? Hartok bows his head. I didn't think anyone could be so indifferent to themselves, but you all pale in comparison to my exquisite gentleman's style. Asarath exhales disapprovingly. A vein is visible on his face. Is that what you call a Walking Dead style? Damn zombie. Cersei laughs at them. Pff, you're all so sensitive, Asarath yells. Shut up, enteritis, Hartok comments. You really don't understand that you look the least like a human? The generals, except Bahal, fight in front of Kratos. Kratos watches neutrally. Each has a huge ego, and for each, the question of appearance is painful. Sometimes I feel sorry for them. Kratos stops the generals' fight. All right, enough. Kratos smiles wickedly. Perhaps I need to lighten the mood. Stop hitting each other. Agree. None of us are suitable for a parade. The generals look downcast. Not funny? Well, at least they calm down. Nicely done. Kratos looks at Zephyros. Hey, Zephyros. Remember that thing I asked you to pick up during the Suratol Castle raid? Zephyros remembers. Oh yes, you mean what we found in the secret passage, right? Zephyros brings some small creatures on a red cloth. The creatures look. Asarath and Cersei are in shock. What's that? Kratos declares with a smile. This is the elixir of metamorphosis. Eating it will transform you into a non-demon-like creature. Cersei and Asarath freeze. This is how we'll change our appearance and enter the human world. Cersei yells, we have to eat this? Seriously? Kratos replies calmly. What else? Do you suggest rubbing it into your skin? Bahal grabs one creature. Bahal, not picky. Bahal throws the creature into his mouth. Bahal chews in front of the other generals. Bahal yells, barf! A voice is heard from the side. Wait, you thought it tasted good, so you ate it? Bahal begins to glow golden, causing the generals to squint. Kratos watches carefully. After consumption, the player took a form corresponding to their inner nature. Please, just not something too aggressive. A shadow emerges in the fog. The shadow becomes clearer. Bahal, transformed. A handsome man with an athletic body, expressive yellow eyes, and long red hair. I feel strange. Elixir of metamorphosis. The compressed soul of countless pieces of meat. It can only be used once. The result may reveal hidden desires. Kratos freezes with a stone face. So that's the essence of your soul, Bahal. Cersei grabs the creature. The Demon King's orders are indisputable, and Kratos thinks to himself, Cersei, do you want to be a beauty? A silhouette in the fog. A llama with Cersei's face appears in the fog. Zephyros shows Cersei her image. Cersei cries, alpaca! Cersei, the cold monarch. She just dreamed of becoming a little warmer. Kratos shoves the creature into Asarath's mouth while Bahal holds him. No time! Eat it! A pelican appears in the fog. The pelican cries, Peli! Asarath, the blood-drinking prince. He yearns for freedom after long service as a lightning rod. Kratos swallows the creature. My turn. A silhouette in the fog, Kratos. Just Kratos in human form. A useless student with no particular success in life. Kratos silently looks in the mirror. Not bad. Will everything be all right after all? Kratos looks at Cersei and Asarath. Kratos commands, just say, I look like a human with a sore liver. Time to move out. Seed Expedition Squad. Everyone hits the road with a wagon. Kratos sees a notification. Notification. No points are awarded while using the elixir of metamorphosis. Kratos clicks his tongue. So many restrictions. Just like in the game. If you take damage and use skills, you'll return to your original form. We need to be careful. A memory of old Kimchi fighting demons. The well teleports everyone. Let's use the abandoned well for instant teleportation to human territory. Fortunately, group teleportation can be done by holding hands. Everyone gets sick. There's just one problem. Kratos looks at McGrath's gates. How do we get inside the fortress? Kratos thinks, looking into the distance. In the worst case, we might run into old Kimchi. But if we crossed paths last time, then he himself was heading deeper into human territory, right? Kratos looks away, and enough time should have passed. He must have reached his goal and left this area. Kratos looks at the fortress, and if he's still here, in this form, I'm unrecognizable. Kratos is nervous, right? He won't recognize me, will he? I beg you, please don't let him recognize me. This is the only way to get seeds quickly. Sound of a trumpet. A suspicious group is approaching. The guards are alert. Demons again? No, doesn't look like it, but Kratos looks at them. The guards conclude. They look sickly. McGrath looks at Kratos. Kratos and the general stop before McGrath. McGrath stares sternly. Judging by your appearance, you are from the outcast village. Turn back. You are forbidden from passing through these gates. Cersei thinks. It would be strange. Aseroth finishes the thought. If everything went smoothly, Kratos thinks, looking at McGrath. Well, as expected, especially since there was a demon attack recently, so they're not letting just anyone through. But I'm an experienced veteran. Game archive. I've read all the logs with the world history of this game 10 times. McGrath stares sternly. Kratos is just as stern. Kratos smiles sweetly. This pathetic outcast just returned from the demon lands to bring offerings. McGrath flinches. From the demon lands? Kratos slyly rejoices. The human king desperately wanted to know what was there. Even sent his man to scout the situation in the area, so they'll definitely let us through. McGrath clarifies. Offerings? What about that thing on your back? Kratos nods. Exactly. You have a surprisingly sharp eye, sir. Kratos continues, pointing at Cersei and Aseroth, monsters straight from the demon lands. Their meat is incredibly delicious and tender. Aseroth and Cersei are displeased. Aseroth and Cersei are in shock. What? Kratos points at Cersei and Aseroth. McGrath clarifies. Monsters from demon territory? Cersei and Aseroth are tense, McGrath says. Aren't those just a pelican and an alpaca? And you want to present His Majesty with ordinary animals? Kratos freezes. Are you kidding me? The world's technology level roughly corresponds to medieval Europe. In what way are an alpaca and a pelican ordinary? McGrath glares angrily. They are just worthless, stinky creatures. Take your rotten stuff and get out. Cersei is furious. Cersei yells angrily, alpaca. McGrath looks at Cersei. McGrath is horrified. P pronunciation is as clear as a human's. You're just an ordinary alpaca, so why the... Kratos catches on. This is our chance. Kratos shakes the alpaca's head. Ha 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 ha. Thank goodness you noticed, sir. This animal from the demon lands truly speaks very clearly. Kratos looks at Aseroth, and this one can cry sincerely. Hey, come on, cry quickly. Kratos plucks feathers from Aseroth's head, and he cries. Peli! McGrath is impressed. Permission granted. You may enter. Kratos and the generals enter the city. We're inside, McGrath warns. Despite your rare offering, you are still outcasts. You are forbidden to roam the kingdom unsupervised. By a happy coincidence for you, a royal messenger is currently heading to the capital. You will travel with them. Kratos raises an eyebrow in surprise. Damn, seriously? Aseroth and Cersei are tied with a rope. Rayvaj says contentedly. How fortunate everything is turning out. I was starting to worry I'd meet His Majesty empty-handed. Returned from the demon lands with nothing. Ha ha. Rayvaj and Dial bow to Kratos and Bahal. I am the royal messenger, Rayvaj Yasrahan, and this is my servant, Dial Frontera, Kratos says respectfully. Nice to meet you. I am Kim Janchal from the outcast village, and this is my friend, Bal. Rayvaj and Dial look surprised. From the outcast village? That name? Kratos feels the heavy gaze of a guard. Rayvaj declares. I lived there for some time, but I never met you. Guards point swords at Bahal and Kratos. Papers on the table. Are you demons? Kratos thinks. Damn, Dial says. Stop it, Lord Rayvaj, you're forgetting faces again. Dial whispers. Look closely. He's from the second house on the left, Rayvaj asks again. Left? Kratos watches them carefully. Dial whispers further. Let's just drag them along. Just imagine what they could offer the king. Rayvaj is cautious. What if there are actually demons? Dial is confident. Not at all, trust me. Rayvaj changes. Ha ha ha, yes. Exactly. I didn't recognize you because we didn't get to talk much, but you were definitely there. Kratos thinks. That potato-faced kid. Why the hell does he think he can use me? Dial looks maliciously. And the skinny one. I'll squeeze him dry and throw him in the dump later. Rayvaj says cheerfully. All right, then let's skip the small talk and get going. Someone else will be joining us. Ravej calls Old Kimchi. Meet our volunteer bodyguard, Old Kimchi. Kratos is horrified. Old Kimchi looks suspiciously at Kratos. Kratos' voice trembles. Hello, I'm Kim John Chol, and he thinks to himself, trouble we're all gonna die. Old Kimchi observes, you look unwell, you should take better care of your liver. Kratos exhalis, huh? Ravaj, Dial, and Old Kimchi walk ahead. All right, empty talk won't get us closer to the capital, so let's go. Kratos looks at Old Kimchi's back. Wait, he really didn't recognize me. It seems the elixir of metamorphosis works perfectly. Old Kimchi doesn't take his eyes off him. Night moon in the sky with clouds. The travelers make camp by the fire. Kratos thinks, looking at the fire, this is bad, the situation is critical. If bandits attack us or we take even one hit, the disguise will drop instantly, and we'll instantly become pancakes in Kimchi's hands. Kratos looks at Old Kimchi, still a long way to the capital. We just need to sell Chunyo and buy seeds. No point in going any further with them. Old Kimchi stares menacingly. Kratos is awkward. Kratos waves sweetly, smiling. Old Kimchi just watches. Kratos exhales. How terrifying. One glance and a brick factory is built. Kratos realizes in horror. I have to run. We'll slip away when everyone's asleep. Everyone went to their tents. Only Asarath and Cersei sleep on the ground. Kratos wakes Bahal with slaps. Hey, Bahal, wake up. Bahal is asleep. Nix. Bahal needs 8 hours of sleep for proper growth. Bahal curses. Your growth period stopped years ago, you idiot. The generals and Kratos prepare to leave. A rustling sound is heard in the tent. Cersei asks, and where are we going at this late hour? Kratos is surprised. Huh? You can talk normally? Cersei points out. I always could. I just needed to get used to the structure of my throat. Kratos explains. There's no reason for us to stay with these annoying humans. Why should we get attached to them? Kratos looks confidently. Our mission is very important, but if we're exposed, we'll have endless problems. Old Kimchi stands before them against the moon. And what do you need to reveal? Old Kimchi watches carefully. Kratos is in a panic. Abandoned lands of Chevan de Huantar. Hartok and Zephyros with a little dragon watch. Demons stand before Hartok. Hartok stares sternly. What's happening? There was no order to gather here. Why did you come? A demon stammers. Our lord is here, and we heard there's food here. Hartok exhales. Actually, we have little food right now. We need to wait for the Demon King to return with new seeds. Planus' former demons express indignation, which Hartok hears. What are these chitinous creatures doing here? Planus' demons plead. Lord Hartok, let us in too. We have nothing to do with Planus' rebellion. Tartu's demons yell at Hartok's back. Lord Hartok, please have mercy, don't destroy us. Tartu's demons continue. We've come a long way. We're very hungry. The demons look and plead with Hartok and Zephyros. Hartok clarifies. How much chunyo do we have left? Zephyros replies. Not much. Zephyros concludes. We need to feed the hungry mouths. The only question is how many more days we can last like this. Hartok lowers his head, closing his eyes. Hartok remembers Kratos' command. You will replace me while we're gone. Think and act like the Demon King. Hartok falls silent. Hartok makes a decision. Divide the territory by race. Each group will be allocated a separate plot. I will make sure there is enough food for everyone. Kratos and the generals stand shocked before Old Kimchi. Old Kimchi asks, Speak, who is Kim John Chol, really? Kratos is flustered. It's like this, Bahal notes. Why are you stammering? Bad stench will get rid of him. Just give the order. Kratos turns to Bahal in horror. Idiot, no fighting. Look closely at him. Old Kimchi exudes an ominous aura. Does he look like a human whose combat characteristics can be easily predicted? Bahal agrees. You're right. He seemed very scary to me from the start. Old Kimchi looks arrogantly. I hear you. Kratos presses his lips together. Old Kimchi thinks, looking at them. The call of duty and the Demon King, Kim John Chol, pulled me into a whirlwind of slaughter, and now you say you want peace. What are your true intentions? And why have you gone so far? I'm very curious about the secrets in your heart, Kratos replies. Honestly, we're not here for gifts for the king. Old Kimchi listens carefully. Kratos confesses. As you know, food is very difficult to find in our lands, but despite everything, we continue to farm. That's why, with the wagon, Kratos confidently states, we want to sell chunyo to buy seeds for other vegetables with the money. Kratos speaks honestly while Old Kimchi watches, and we wanted to escape because we were afraid of being discovered. We'll bypass the capital and go to the nearest town. Kratos forces a smile. We are very sorry. Please understand. We are barely coping with hunger. And Kratos thinks to himself, I need to appeal to his sympathy. Everything should go smoothly. Old Kimchi is silent. Kratos looks at Old Kimchi. Old Kimchi reasons. That look. He's clearly hiding something, but he's not lying. I see, so the demons started attacking humans because they had no food. Old Kimchi exhales. Old Kimchi is unyielding, and Kratos sees it. I understand, but I still cannot allow you to escape. Old Kimchi continues speaking. Lord Azrahan helped you because he thought you were bringing tribute to the king. I cannot allow him to feel the bitterness of betrayal. Kratos listens in surprise to Old Kimchi. Let's do this. You'll stop in the city, sell chunyo, and buy seeds, but you'll still go to the capital with us. Cersei and Asarath listen tensely, and, as originally agreed, the two beasts will be given to the king as tribute. Kratos nods. Of course, what do we care about these creatures? In our city, they're common as dirt, Asarath and Cersei think. What? Is he serious? Kratos smiles wickedly. Of course, it won't be like that. As soon as we get the seeds, we'll escape. Clear sky and greenery. Rayvar asks Kratos, you said you had to sell chunyo. Can you show us what it looks like? Kratos agrees. Oh, of course, nothing special, really. Just a big potato. Kratos lifts the cloth, showing the potato. Here, look. Rayvaj and Dial are interested. Rayvaj encourages. Good luck with the sale, Dial yells. Young master. Dial offers Kratos. Offer this as tribute. It's much more valuable than animals. Kratos freezes, huh? But it's just an ugly big potato. What could be so... Dial shouts over him, not just big, but gigantic. Kratos shrugs it off. Ha ha ha. What's so good about it? If size mattered so much, the tallest person would be king. Ha ha ha. Rayvaj laughs. It seems he liked it because it's so much like him. Ha ha ha. Dial thinks maliciously. Damn, I swear, when I earn enough money, I'll buy you all into slavery. Kratos silently watches Rayvaj and Dial. Kratos thinks. The potato head is right. We could offer the strange potato to the king and get a reward. Hiding from Old Kimchi is more important. But Old Kimchi walks beside them. We need to escape before our plan is discovered. Rayvaj rejoices. Ah, here he is. A building is visible in the distance. Welcome to the trading city of Daparakia. A shack with windows. Thanks to Azrahan's generosity, Bahal and I got one room. Old Kimchi's team got another. Cersei and Asarath are tied with rope and left outside. The beasts, of course, got nothing. A room with a bed, window, table, and chairs. I never thought there could be so many empty rooms in a bustling trading city, and such miserable ones. Kratos and the generals with the wagon walk down the street. Whatever. Selling chunyo is more important to us. Asarath addresses Kratos. Are you really going to give us Peli to the human king? Kratos reassures him. Don't be silly. You're my precious lightning rod. Asarath is upset. Huh? But I thought my job was done. Kratos jokes. You're just on an extended vacation. Cersei notices something. Something's alpaca, strange here. I thought the human market would be crowded. Kratos and the generals walk down a deserted street, but it's even more desolate here than in the demon lands. Kratos notices, yes, it seems strange to me since our journey. It seems the economy here is in the dumps. Can we sell chunyo? Kratos calms himself. No, what's the point of worrying? Act first, think later. Potatoes laid out on a stall. Kratos starts to call out, come closer, selling head-sized potatoes, 20 for 1, 30 for 2. Come on, don't be shy, choose. Kratos continues clapping his hands. Brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, buy what you like, buy. Taste satisfaction guaranteed. Bahal looks at Kratos in embarrassment. I'm embarrassed, and this man is our demon king. Kratos gets angry. Shut up, shame is nothing when it comes to survival. Kratos yells. Demons ate their own kind to escape hunger. If we have to do this to survive, then we should be grateful. Bahal looks anxious. Bahal and Kratos together call out to the people. Come closer, big potatoes. Kratos yells at Cersei and Asarath. And why are you silent? Cersei and Asarath are in shock. Everyone calls out to customers. Kratos thinks, sweating, in most stories when people from the modern world are transported to a fantasy world and try to sell something, they immediately create something grand, like ice cream or food with MSG. Big potato. But it's just a potato, albeit a big one. People might start buying out of curiosity. But what next? That's why we have to give it our all. A pyramid of Kratos and generals calls to buy. Because survival is a memory of a grandma selling herbs, but people passing by, doing everything in our power. A man approaches them. Excuse me, is one really only 20 gold? Kratos thinks. Oh, first customer, then replies. Of course, and if you buy 2, Kratos freezes in shock, huh? A crowd appears. Then I want 4. Me, I want to buy 2. Give me 6. No, 10. Kratos is in shock. What the hell is happening? A market frenzy? Was it that effective? Azarath asks, why are you silent? Hurry up and sell, Peli. Cersei is also indignant. Yes, Alpaca. It seems the Demon King's plan worked again. Alpaca. Kratos is flustered. Huh? Yes. Kratos' voice is heard. All right, please, everyone in line, one by one. A hand holds a bag. Kratos looks at the bag. We've already sold a third of our stock. If this continues, we can sell everything tomorrow. Kratos is encouraged. 4 demonic generals, let's head back to the tavern. I'll catch up with you when I buy the seeds. Everyone rejoices. Bountiful harvest. Excellent harvest. A man looks at Kratos in surprise. You want to buy seeds? Sir Buyer, are you joking? Kratos clarifies. Excuse me? The man looks. You won't find seeds anywhere in this city. Kratos freezes in realization. Kratos clarifies with the merchant. What do you mean we can't buy seeds? The merchant replies. Most of the food and seeds have already been bought up by large trading guilds. Kratos is outraged. And where are they now? The seller squints. Listen, why is your face so pale? Kratos is angry. What's it to you about my face? Where are these guilds? The seller freezes, huh? The seller points at a guy. Over there, try asking that guy. The guy addresses Kratos, who turns around. Excuse me. The guy with greenish hair in uniform greets Kratos politely. Were you the one selling large potatoes by the fountain? Kratos looks carefully. Yes, I am, but the guy introduces himself. My name is Ruslan. I am the secretary of the Richmond Merchants Guild. I handle all the guild's operations. Kratos is cautious. Oh, I see. And why do you need me? And he thinks to himself, Richmond Merchants Guild. Is that what that fat guy mentioned earlier? Ruslan holds up 2 fingers. Let's get straight to the point. 20%. I'll buy your potatoes at a price 20% higher than the original. Kratos freezes. Did I hear that right? Could it be? Kratos asks. First, allow me to ask something. How much do you sell cabbage seeds for? Ruslan replies. How much, you ask? Ruslan looks arrogant. The price for today, 100 gold per handful. Kratos is in shock, insane. Kratos looks at Ruslan. Judging by the analysis of this world's markets, the maximum price is 50 gold, and they're charging twice as much. The Richen Guild. Ruslan looks pleased. They're speculators. They control distribution, buy everything up, and then make huge profits. An old dilapidated inn, a dead market district, and desperate people who can't even afford toilet paper. All because of them. Kratos observes, which means Kratos smiles slyly. Ruslan freezes. My God, what's with his face? Kratos is pleased. Even if I sell all the chuno, I still won't be able to buy seeds at market price. But there's no rule that says I have to buy directly from them. Well, maybe there is. But I'm a demon. I don't follow any rules, right? Kratos is silent. He notices old Kimchi standing in the distance. Old Kimchi is watching my every move. Looks like he sensed something's up. And yet, Kratos smiles. I found a way to get rid of you and get the seeds at the same time. Kratos begins to speak. So you want to buy chuno potatoes, right? Ruslan agrees. Yes, if you agree, we can right now. Kratos says arrogantly, call your boss. Ruslan freezes in confusion. Ruslan is indignant. But I'm in charge of operations, Kratos snorts arrogantly. Tsk. Kratos' gaze is terrifyingly arrogant. You're just a grunt, aren't you? I doubt you're capable of accepting my offer. He thinks to himself, I'll show you what's what. I'm not some petty merchant to be ordered around. Ruslan insists. I'm the vice head of the Merchant Guild. I have the authority to make almost all decisions. Kratos boldly declares, Fine, then I want 200 gold per potato. Are you buying or not? Ruslan is shocked by the audacity. Ruslan declares, 200? That's too expensive. Kratos laughs. Oh, look who's being stingy. What's wrong? Can't make a decision, huh? Kratos continues, your boss should understand. Large processed potatoes, easy to store and in large quantities. If sold to the royal army or someone else, you could hit the jackpot. Kratos is as stern as ever. Now let me ask, suppose I sell these potatoes at a 20% markup, but you, as a third party, get the contract to supply the kingdom. Who ultimately loses, the guild or I? Ruslan gets angry. Kratos repeats, call your boss. Silence in the dark sky. The rain begins. A downpour falls on Sergei and Asarath. Asarath is angry. I won't forgive you, Demon Lord Peli, Sergei replies. Shut up, Pa. Didn't you hear what the Demon Lord said earlier, Pa? If word gets out that we can talk, we'll be in the spotlight, Pa. Asarath, wet from the rain, continues. Since when did you become so loyal, Peli? Aren't you angry that we're dragged into this, Pelly? Sergei is calm. I'm even happy, Pa. Asarath is surprised. What, Pelly? Sergei shares her thoughts. I was always curious, Pa. A flashback where little Sergei looks at McGrath Fortress. Since childhood, I wanted to know what that place was, Pa. They said that humans had a lot of food and neighbors didn't eat each other. To me, that place was like a dream, Pa. The rain pours on Sergei. You know, my parents were eaten by a stronger demon, Pa. I don't even grieve their death. To me, it already feels, Pa, like a given, Pa. Asharath listens sadly. I guess you felt the same way when your younger siblings were eaten, right, Pa? Sergei continues. This city is poorer than I thought, but they don't eat each other. At the market, I saw a flashback of a man feeding a boy a potato. How a father of a very hungry child gave the potato to his son first. The rain pours from the sky. If only we had been born here. Sergei remembers her parents and herself. Could our families have lived happily? Asarath looks sadly. Sergei cries, face down. Asarath cheers her up. So when you're feeling strong emotions, you don't add Pa? Sergei looks at the floor. So what? I'm just used to the form. Asarath spreads a wing. Azarath shields Sergei from the rain with his wing. Now demons too will be able to see an era of happiness. Kratos shouts at Azarath and Sergei. Hey, you too! Asarath is flustered. No, it's a misunderstanding. Sergei is just too overconfident. Sergei is flustered. Asarath is bothering me. Please get him. Kratos takes Sergei and Asarath. Come with me, kids. Strategic meeting of the 4 generals. The rain continues in front of the inn. The general and Kratos are in the room, Asarath says. They're buying up all the supplies, and then selling them at exorbitant prices? Sergei is angry. Why are they doing this? Asarath is indignant. Isn't there enough food? Why hoard? Kratos is calm. They're not doing it because they fear hunger. They want to increase profits to become even richer. Bahal joins the conversation. Bahal knows. Once basic needs are met, the hierarchy of needs shifts towards increased demand. Kratos doesn't stay silent. What kind of nonsense could have so thoroughly destroyed the world system? Asarath is serious. It's not just about needs anymore. It's pure greed. Even though they already have enough food. Asarath remembered crying as a little boy because of a monster. Sergei's face shows no kindness at all, even though there are so many starving people in the city because they simply don't have money. Sergei remembered herself among the demon remains. Bahal frowns. Bahal, I am very angry. Kratos raises a hand. 4 demon generals. Perhaps you may be displeased, but such is the nature of humans. We must act with a cool head in accordance with our goals. Demons must act like demons. Kratos laughs wickedly. We will plunder their warehouses. This is where our story comes to an end. Rate this manhwa on a scale of 1 to 10 and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.